cook up a killer meal, they're gonna have to check out.
Guys,
This Sports Center special, Draft Countdown, is presented by All Natural Oberto Beef Jerky. You get out what you put in.
Back inside Radio City Music Hall, so the question is, fellas, who should the first pick be? What do you think, John?
I want to see the Texans get the quarterback they want. Selfishly, I'd like it to be Johnny Football. I'd love to see Bill O'Brien, who's a great quarterback coach, mentor this kid.
Khalil Mack, it's something about the underdog. Playing with a chip on his shoulder. I would like to see this kid in 2 years, but I like his motor right now.
Clowney, there's no other choice for the Houston Texans. You take the #1 guy, really go back to his freshman year. He would have been the 3rd pick overall after that campaign. You got Andrew Luck and RG3, consensus #1 last year. You got to take the best pass rusher to come out in 30 years.
Months and months and months of conjecture. Real soon, we're going to have some fact. The draft is upon us. We've already had the anthem. We're ready to kick it off here in Radio City Music Hall.
This is the moment, the hour, the day. After a lifetime of early mornings and late nights, you know what was really pushing all those weights? Grinding out those 2 days? A dream. That one day your teammates would rely on you, the city would count on you, and the whole world would focus on you. The prize? That dream starts tonight.
Somewhere I heard that life is a test. I've been through the worst, but I still get my best. God made my mold different from the rest. Then he broke that mold, so I know I'm blessed. Stand up now and face the sun. Won't hide my tail or turn and run. It's time to do what must be done. Be a king when kingdom comes. Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Yo, Rook, you want one of these? Maybe you can hold it too. You got what it takes to be the man, to be a leader, to be a hero, to be the best. This path has been uphill all the way, and it doesn't get any easier. Dig deep, lay it all on the line, and when you come knocking, we'll answer.
This is the 2014 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light.
New York, just like I pictured it, twilight time. The city that never sleeps, and it won't sleep for the next few days because at Radio City Music Hall, it's time for the NFL Draft. Fans, and we saw them, all 32 jerseys. They're here in full force, several decks up, the high balconies at Radio City, over 80 years of entertainment, and the home for the 79th NFL Draft. Jadeveon Clowney is expected to go 1. We remember that hit in the Outback Bowl. And we remember Johnny Football winning the Heisman Trophy as a freshman. Johnny Manziel, who will get him? And electrifying Sammy Watkins, who comes in the lineup. Some of the 30 players that are here tonight. And hello once again, everybody. Welcome to New York. It is time for the NFL Draft. I'm Chris Berman. So glad to be with us. So much conjecture. We've never had this much time from the Super Bowl to the draft, and now it's here. And with me, he was the #1 pick of the Baltimore Ravens back in 1996. A couple of Super Bowls, I think. Ray Lewis, welcome.
How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Nice to be here with you. John Gruden won a Super Bowl. He and Mike Tirico with Monday Night Football. Nice to see you, Coach. Coach.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
And no, Piper, it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving, it's Halloween, it's the Easter. Welcome.
Merry Christmas, Boom.
It is your time. And so, without much further ado, we can't start until the commissioner, Roger Goodell, takes out the proverbial gavel and decides to pound it and open this thing. Here we go.
Good evening and welcome to the 2014 NFL Draft. Thank you to NFL fans around the world for your tremendous passion and support throughout the year. Tonight we have a group of season ticket members right down in front of us, so congratulations, thank you for being here. As you all know, these next few days are important to our teams, our players, our coaches, and in particularly you, the fans. So let's get it started. The 2014 NFL Draft is officially open. The Houston Texans are now on the clock.
And so the Houston Texans, who come off a 14 straight loss finish after winning their division the 2 years before, tried to start into, they've been here before, twice in their brief history with the #1 overall pick in the draft. Of course, as an expansion team in 2002, they picked quarterback David Carr, who was sacked an unbelievable amount of times, never quite panned out. In 2006, they deliberated, picked Mario Williams, defensive player. He now plays for the Buffalo Bills, and now, of course, here are the Houston Texans trying to do, fellas, what 2 years ago Indianapolis had the first pick. They got a new coach, Chuck Pagano. They made the playoffs. Last year, the Kansas City Chiefs had the first pick. They got a new coach, Andy Reid. They made the playoffs. Here are the Houston Texans. They got a new coach, Bill O'Brien, Brown class of 1992. They're hoping to make the playoffs. Maybe not so easily said and harder done. Where do they go?
Yeah, but Chris, Kansas City also changed quarterbacks.
Right.
Alex Smith came over from the 49ers, and Andrew Luck had a lot to do with turning things around in Indianapolis. To me, Houston needs to get the quarterback they want before they go home tonight. Might not be with this pick, but before the end of this night, they better get their quarterback. Ray, help me out. You know the one I want.
I'm gonna hold off on that one. Simply because this is the division that has Andrew Luck in the same division right now. And you're talking about a team that defensively was rated in the very bottom of the league last year. They need an impact player right now. They don't need a test dummy to figure out if it's going to work. How do I plug him in? They need an impact player to come in there, put him beside J.J. Watt. I think it should be Khalil Mack, and then we go from there, guys.
Can't have the first pick in the draft and get the 10th best player. I think Johnny Manziel in this draft is the 10th best player. Jadeveon Clowney, #1 by far, by a wide margin, really in any draft except when he was a freshman, behind really RG3 at 2, Andrew Luck at 1, he'd have been 3rd overall. This team has to pressure Andrew Luck. They will with Clowney and Watt together. To me, it's an obvious pick. And we'll always talk about Khalil Mack. Love Khalil Mack. But that's like saying, you know, you would have taken RG3 over Andrew Luck. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have taken Mack over Clowney. I won't right now. Trading out of there is an option if you got bowled over. But you had to get really a big-time offer. And I don't know if that's going to be coming. So if Houston's locked into one, there's no other choice but Jadeveon Clowney.
When Houston rolled with defense, they had J.J. Watt and Wade Phillips was the defensive coordinator. Romeo Purnell's the defensive coordinator. So was there a matchup, a fit problem for Clowney, or if you're that good, it doesn't matter, Ray?
You know what? I'm just, if you look at what Clowney does, Clowney is a pure pass rusher off the edge of the ball. That's what he does. He gets to the quarterback. The reason why I'm talking about Khalil Mack, I don't think Khalil Mack is as athletic when he steps up off the ball. When you put Khalil Mack on the football, Khalil Mack is one of the most dominant pass rushers that we've seen in the National Football League. Clowney has the potential to be everything it is to be. But the one thing you can't teach, Coach, and that's passion in this league. In this league, you got to have passion from the day you come in.
Let me say this about this pick. Houston's already picked Mario Williams, #1. He's in Buffalo. They took Whitney Merciless in the first round to rush the passer out of Illinois. Brooks Reed, they took him in the second round to rush the passer. They also took Connor Barwin, and he's in Philadelphia. So I know that Clowney has a rating that's high, but they play completely different positions. They better get a quarterback before the night is over.
Do you trade out of this pick? It doesn't happen very often. They're listening on the phone. It costs a lot for any of these teams to go up, but if the player is this good like Clowney, that's a question. So why don't we check in with Houston, where Ed Werder is covering the Texans. Ed, what are you hearing through the door?
Well, Boomer, Bill O'Brien, the new head coach here, and Rick Smith, the general manager, both expected as they went on the clock that some of these teams they've been negotiating potential trades with, reaching out to make one more offer to try to get the #1 overall pick, presumably for Jadeveon Clowney, who is not a perfect system fit here and therefore might be valued more by other teams. But they don't have any misgivings about whether Clowney can perform. They think he could put his hand on the ground and play as a stand-up outside linebacker on early downs, and then 60 to 70% of the time rush the passer as a defensive end, which he's been throughout his college career. So it'll be interesting to see how they resolve this. I know that Rick Smith did not feel any pressure from his owner, Bob McNair, to draft the local quarterback phenom, Johnny Manziel, but Bill O'Brien is believed to have very high regard for him. In fact, he called Manziel yesterday one hell of a player when I spoke to him. Now let's go to Chris Mortensen.
Ed, we look at Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. Yes, Khalil Mack would appear to be a better fit in the scheme, but Bill Parcells, who worked with Romeo Crennel for 17 years, said do not underestimate Romeo with Clowney because they experienced it in 1994 with the New England Patriots, and they drafted Willie McGinnis, defensive end, out of USC, and he said Romeo made it work beautifully, and they won a lot of ball games, Boone.
Look, you have J.J. Watt. Look, maybe, perhaps, you don't go to quote Coach Parcells, you are what you are. But this could be a 2-14 team that's at least a lot better than that. J.J. Watt and a dynamic other side guy like Clowney, you can wreck a game, right, Coach? You could.
Be exciting. You know, Wade Phillips rushed 5 men a lot, and J.J. Watt got a lot of one-on-one looks. Let's be honest. I don't know what the scheme is. Romeo Crennel has been around the block. He's going to have enough versatility to use his best players. But if I was an offensive coach sitting in a dark room, putting together a protection plan, I would not want to see Clowney and J.J. Watt. I just want to go back, though, Ray. The Texans must find their future quarterback. Just look at the 3 they have on their roster. That's important.
And you know what, Coach? Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you on the Texans should have a quarterback. But I don't know if we have that guy. If we had that guy in the past years, that guy's #1. That's the bottom line fact. But we don't. I don't think we have that guy right now. So you have to go with Clowney or Khalil Mack. And if it's me now, because I'm an ab man too, Coach. And when I'm watching the TV, I'm seeing Khalil Mack. That means, see, when you got a certain core to you, that means you working at something, Coach. So I like
George Bush went to Manziel's pro day. I didn't see the former president at your pro day. Johnny Football will bring a buzz to Houston. And that buzz is good. There'll be a lot of excitement. I'll buy 2 tickets if he goes to Houston.
You can't overdraft. I mean, you would be overdrafting a quarterback.
I don't feel like I'm overdrafted.
Is he
if
number
I'm
1?
a quarterback coach, this is what I want to mold for my future in the modern day.
He's got to be #1 on your board.
Right.
He's got to be #1.
He's #1. I did an hour show on Manziel. He's #1. 3 years from now, you and I are going to have the same discussion. Just like
there's only one way. There's only one way I would not.
I guess either Mack or Clowney, because in his 22 previous seasons as an NFL head coach and assistant on the defensive side of the ball, he's had only one player who's registered at least 12 sacks in one season, and that was when he was with the Chiefs in 2010 and 2011 with Tom Bahali. So he can put Watt, and we assume Clowney/Mack on the same line and go hunt Andrew Luck in the AFC South.
2 things. Romeo Crennel was also in the New York Giants. He coached me when Lawrence Taylor was there. So he's seen what Lawrence Taylor was able to do. And when they get in the sub package with J.J. Watt, this guy, Sapp, Merciless, then they've got something.
So the Texans have handed in their pick. The pick is in, as the Rams have already been on the clock for 20 seconds. And the Rams do know who the pick is already, because once the pick is phoned into New York, it's transmitted to the next team on the clock. And their phone could be ringing right now in St. Louis, as our ears will soon be ringing with the name of the first selection of the 2014 draft here in Radio City. We're told that
where's the commish? Let's go.
He's going to get up there in less than a minute.
Wow.
You think it's Clowney, Mike?
I do believe it's Clowney. And for me, I've had Mac number 1 for 3 months. I think he's a great fit in Houston. So if they do trade down, there's an option there. But all day long, I believe it's Clowney, yeah.
Says the Rams have less than a minute to go. The commissioner's going to get up there. It's going to be the Houston Texans, who lost their last 14 games of last year. They started 2-0, then lost their last 14, which is how you choose first overall.
This has to feel like deja vu in a sense, the fact that they're making his first overall pick, and it's the same type of guy. I mean, when the stats went up, it was amazing that the stats mirrored each other.
They went with Mario Williams over a quarterback who is from the state of Texas in the draft. Let's see if they do it again now. Here's the commissioner with the first overall selection of this year's draft.
With the first pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end, South Carolina.
So the tears are flowing.
6'5", 266 pounds. He's got 34.5-inch arms, and he ran a ridiculous 4.53 at 266 pounds. This kid is explosive. He flashes in every game. And what I try to tell people is when he woke up this morning in a very nice hotel room, he was the most talented defensive lineman on the planet. But really, the knock on him is that he's not always consistent. We're going to go to our own Hall of Fame defensive lineman back in Los Angeles. And Warren Sapp, you've been openly critical of this young man. What do you have to say?
I don't have a problem with him being the #1 pick, Mike, because when you look at him on tape, you see those spots and those flashes that you talk about, and you understand why he's so special. And he's a rare talent, and the only thing you got to do is look at his measurables. You don't find a young man that big, that fast, that strong every day. He's a once every 15-year talent. He's the #1 player. Houston has their work cut out for him, getting him in that 3-4, pairing him with J.J. Watt, and letting him go after Andrew Luck, because that's a task.
Thank you, Warren.
As Clowney steps up there with his new Houston Texans jersey and his new hat and his new life. The Houston Texans, who went into last season with Super Bowl aspirations.
Yes.
But wound up being 2-14 and able to select Jadeveon Clowney, #1 overall. Prime?
I see tears, man. Explain your emotions.
Man, it's changed my life, man. I've been wanting this dream for forever. And it's finally here, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to go out there and work hard for the Texans, man. Do everything I can to help the program.
Did all the naysaying and the hating bother you?
No, sir, man. I know what I can do on the field. I'm just ready to go ahead and prove it to these guys that's doubting me and just go ahead and work.
Playing with J.J. Watt, is that a dream come true?
This is a great dream, Coach. I've been watching this guy since I've been coming up for the last few years in college. I'm just ready to be beside him and get to work.
What did Mama say?
Man, she's excited about this moment right now. She's overwhelmed, too, with me.
God bless you, man.
Mike, take it away.
Yeah, we've talked about him ad nauseum. Let's take a peek at Jadeveon Clowney. Now, when you talk about explosive off the edge, he's got length, he's got first step quickness, and he has explosion. He loves the inside swim, both in the run game and the pass. In the NFL, he's going to have to learn not to use that all the time. But here's the one thing that bothers me. He didn't have a very good game against Clemson. And when he got blocked by Brandon Thomas, he stayed blocked. So the criticism on this young man is that he flashes explosion every game, but he doesn't do it enough. And really, I think What Houston has to do is get him in that defensive line room with J.J. Watt. Their D-line coach, Bill Collar, has been around this league a long time. And I think the young man just has to understand, Mooch, how important it is not to cash the check, but become the most dominant player in the league, because that's what your talent demands.
I believe he's on the exact right team because of J.J. Watt, Bill Kohler, Romeo Crennel scheme. And he reminds me of a little bit of a guy named Willie McGinnis, who works for us right now. Remember when Willie came out? He was the 4th pick in the draft in '93. Both of these guys are 6'5". They're the same strength in the bench press. They were used strictly as pass rushers in college. In fact, Willie McGinnis, his production went down from 16 to 6 his last year, just like Jadeveon Clowney's went down from 13 to 3. People start throwing the ball quicker, started chipping, started to get rid of it because he was a factor. Willie McGinnis happens to be the all-time sack leader in the history of the playoffs. Both are great players, and Jadeveon Clowney, I got to know this guy a long time ago, 3 years ago, fellas, when I was coaching the Under Armour All-American game, and he was the best kid coming out of high school. He was on my team, Mike.
Did you win?
Well, yeah, we're coming down to the last thing, and we needed a sack. I said, Clown, come over here. I need it right now, baby. Oh, yeah. Bam! Game over. Mucho verdicta. All right?
Hey,
this guy is really something. He had that look in his eye 3 years ago.
You know, when you're a top pick and you walk into that building, oftentimes you look for guys to show you the way. He could not have a better guy on the field than J.J. Watt, who's going to teach him not to pick his spots, but to play in every spot, every time, every down hard, and watch the things you fall into. Bill Kohler, he was with this when I was with the Rams. You want to talk about a hard-working guy. He's sweating while his players are sweating working. That's how hard he works. I think this is the perfect situation for Jadeveon Clowney. He's going to learn how to work. He's going to learn how to get to the office. He's going to learn how to study film. He's going to become a better pro. That defense is going to be something special. The question is, can he be that much of a game changer to help them win games and beat maybe Andrew Luck right now?
Right now, Marshall.
Yep.
And it's something that you said during this whole week. You know, you talked about being a pro athlete, basically having to go to college because you had played so good so early. And with that big hit that Jadeveon Clowney made last year, that's basically what he became. Now he gets to be a pro athlete in the pros. No more biology, no more sociology. You just got footballology all day long. And how do you spend that time? We ran that piece. And the piece you heard Andre Bruce talking about, I had a lot of time to do a lot of things. You better spend that time studying the game, and he could be a great player.
Well, you could see the Texans fans love it, and the first quarterback that Clowney is going to have to go chase around week 1 of the NFL season is RG3 as they take on Washington in week number 1. And speaking of RG3, the team that got multiple first-round draft choices a couple of years ago for the rights to draft him is on the clock because Washington had a brutal season, finished with the 2nd worst record in the National Football League, putting the Rams on the clock right now. This is the last first-round draft choice that they got, and that RG3 trade struck in March of 2012. You're looking at the Rams draft party, a minute and change to go, Marshall Faulk. They might trade the pick. The question is, do they go ahead and select somebody to protect Sam Bradford, somebody to help Sam Bradford out in terms of a weapon, or do they choose somebody to replace Sam Bradford with this pick?
The beauty is, when you listen to Jeff Fisher, he said not 1 or 2, 6 to 8 guys fit their pick. And it has to be something RG3-ish to get them out of that pick. And I don't believe anyone is going to give that up. So I'm going to say this. If you play in the NFC West, it's one thing you must do. You must win the line of scrimmage on offense and win the line of scrimmage on defense. And if you watch last year, at times, they struggled on offense to win the line of scrimmage. Greg Robinson would fit here when you think about what they did with Sappho, paying him, kicking him inside. If Jake Long can be healthy enough to where he can come back and start week 1 for them, you put Greg at right, Jake Long at left, you're going to win the line of scrimmage. The big boy going to win the line of scrimmage. I watch him dominate at Auburn. I love what he brings to the table. 328 yards per game is how much they rush for in college. in the SEC.
Sam Bradford, now, if it's Sam Bradford, you're putting him on the hot seat, or we're saying this has to be the year he steps up. Do you get him protection, or do you get him a Sammy Watkins or a Mike Evans, somebody that can go and get the football out of the air? They have to be thinking about that. You know, Tavon Austin last year was a great fast player, but not that every down receiver they need. If you're going to put the guy on the block, get me some every down guy to catch that pass.
And there's Ty Burrell of Modern Family, big-time Rams fan, who is sitting at the Rams table.
Which one is he?
He's the one in the middle.
Otherwise known as Phil Dunphy.
That's right. Phil Dunphy is going to select this pick. Mike, with 45 seconds to go until the commissioner's up there. Yeah? Your thoughts? Your thoughts with 40 seconds to go until we hear it.
What Marshall said about the division they play in dictates to me what this pick's going to be. Robinson's 332 pounds. What's really intriguing is they've got a guy named Joe Barksdale, who's their right tackle. They might even take Robinson and play him inside for a year or two before they kick him outside and protect from the inside out. Trust me, physicality wins in that division, and Robinson fits.
And again, this is the last first-round choice of a trade that was made 2 years ago. Let's hear who the Rams have selected. Second overall, their first of 2 picks tonight.
With the second pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Greg Robinson, tackle, Auburn.
6'5", 332 pounds. Mother's Day weekend, wrapping those 35-inch arms around his mom.
I love that.
Isn't that awesome, Michael Irvin?
I love that part of this show, man, on this weekend.
Every time I'm here, it takes me back to my draft and that experience. It's the best reality TV there is. The best.
Look at the picture. That's awesome.
A dream's coming true. This is actually, you're watching these guys dream, manifesting to its physical reality. Every kid started out saying, man, one day I'm going to get an opportunity to play in the NFL. And this kid right now walking that walk saying, boy, this is a reality right now.
Hey, Marshall, take a look at him, okay? First tape I put in, Orlando Pace. That's the first guy I thought about.
Just think about this. If you are a left tackle going to an organization, there's no shortage of advice you can get from Jackie Slater and Orlando Pace. My God. There's a wealth of information on how to be a dominant left tackle in the game of football. Listen, I'm happy for him. And watching him play at Auburn, he's going to fit in with the kind of person that Jackie Slater is and the kind of person that Orlando Pace is, that when those three sit down, when they're at camp, it's going to be amazing.
If the SEC is the toughest division in college, you better believe he is right now in the toughest division in the NFL.
It's time for him to be welcomed to Primetime, presented by G5 Primetime. Dion?
The number 2 pick in the draft, big fella.
Speechless. It's a blessing to be here. Thanks for St. Louis for giving me this opportunity. I won't let y'all down.
Did you ever doubt it?
No, sir, I didn't. I've always been confident, and I'm confident in my game, and it won't change.
You come a long way from Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
What should we expect from you in the NFL?
My all, 110% of Greg Robinson. Nothing less. Promise you.
Back to you, Rich.
Thanks very much. It's the first time ever a Jeff Fisher team has taken an offensive lineman in the first round. We are taking a break. When we come back, the Jacksonville Jaguars pick. That is Lydia Robinson rocking a new lid.
Get it on Ma. Look at Ma.
Charlie?
My name is Jenny, and I quit smoking with Chantix. Before Chantix, I tried to quit probably about 5 times. It was different than the other times I tried to quit.
Along with support, Chantix Varenicline is proven to help people quit smoking. It's a non-nicotine pill.
Chantix reduced my urge to smoke. That helped me quit smoking.
Some people had changes in behavior, thinking or mood, hostility, agitation, depressed mood, and suicidal thoughts or actions while taking or after stopping Chantix. If you notice any of these, stop Chantix and call your doctor right away. Tell your doctor about any history of mental health problems, which could get worse while taking Chantix. Don't take Chantix if you've had a serious allergic or skin reaction to it. If you develop these, stop stop Chantix and see your doctor right away, as some can be life-threatening. Tell your doctor if you have a history of heart or blood vessel problems, or if you develop new or worse symptoms. Get medical help right away if you have symptoms of a heart attack or stroke. Use caution when driving or operating machinery. Common side effects include nausea, trouble sleeping, and unusual dreams.
My quit date was my son's birthday, and that was my gift for him and me.
Ask your doctor if Chantix is right for you.
I get the most amazing Mother's Day gift. It was a wonderful surprise.
This Mother's Day, surprise her with something different. Give Sherry's Berries, the freshest, juiciest strawberries, dipped in the finest ingredients. Choose from over 50 gourmet toppings, all delivered fresh to any home or office for Mother's Day.
When I opened the box, I was in heaven.
With this special offer, get a signature gift box of Sherry's Berries for just $19.99 and order now to double the berries for just $9.99 more.
I sent them to my mom. It was a really good deal.
Go to berries.com, click the mic in the upper right corner, and enter code SPECIAL. Get these amazing strawberries for just $19.99 or double the berries for only $9.99 more.
You can't go wrong sending a box of Sherry's Berries.
Berries.com. Click the mic and enter code SPECIAL. Or call 888-SWEET-90.
This season's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be best friends with that guy and that guy. We're gonna work so hard, our moves will have moves. I'm gonna make my mom proud. Good game, good game, good game. We'll be doing this a lot. We're going all the way. But I only get to play if my coaches are Heads Up Football certified.
Welcome back. The Jacksonville Jaguars. That's Dave Caldwell making the selection for Gus Bradley and the rest of the Jacksonville Jaguars contingent. He's on the phone with somebody. The pick is in. Mike Mayock, your thoughts?
Look, I've been all over the Khalil Mack pick here. I was in their building for 12 hours last week watching tape with their coaches. I know them pretty well. If it's not Mack, think about a quarterback whose name is not Johnny Manziel. Okay, and I don't know this for a fact, but I know how they think, and he fits their profile. So if it's not Mack, don't be shocked if Blake Bortles goes right here.
Wow. Why he would be staying in the state of Florida. All right. A little bit of intrigue for the Jacksonville Jaguars fans out there.
Oh, this place is rough.
With the third pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Blake Bortles, quarterback, Central Florida.
Well, there you have it. The first quarterback in this draft selected is not Johnny Manziel. It's not Teddy Bridgewater. Whoa. It's a young man out of the University of Central Florida who's going to join the AFC South this fall and try and do battle against Andrew Luck and the rest of that division and have to avoid Jadeveon Clowney coming for him twice a season.
I was in their building last week, and Gus and Dave were in Gus's office. They heard me come in. The secretary announced me, and I could hear Gus going, and Dave, we've made up our mind. It's going to be Johnny Manziel. And they had big pictures of him up all over the wall, but it was Blake Bortles the whole time. They believe in this kid. He's 6'5", 232 pounds. He's got a big arm. He reminds me a little bit of a young Ben Roethlisberger. Very strong. He climbs the pocket. Our Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Warner, what do you think?
Well, I have to say, Mike, I'm a little bit surprised that it was Bortles over Manziel with the first pick. But like you said, I think he's the prototypical pro quarterback. He's a guy that plays the game very well inside the pocket. Like you said, can climb the pocket, can make all the throws, can take some hits. And they've got some work to do in Jacksonville. But I think he's a great piece to build around, and he plays the game the way I believe you have to win in the National Football League. He's got a ways to go, but I think they can go together as a team.
Brian, take it away.
Hey, this guy's extremely excited, man. Is this a shocker to you?
You know, I don't know. I came in with no expectations. Just happy to be here in New York, and you know, now I'm pumped to go to Jacksonville and compete. And you know, do what I can and be the best I can be.
Well, when I saw you walk out that draft room, you were smiling from ear to ear. You gave a shout out to one of your homies who's by the stage. So this has to be somewhat of a shock.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it would have been a shock if I was 1 or 150. It's a dream come true, and I'm just so excited.
Congratulations, man. Back to you, Rich.
So Blake Bortles is going to that fan base, that rabid fan base in Jacksonville. There's a lot of Jacksonville fans that are here as well. And the Buffalo Bills have just struck a trade for the number 4 overall pick with the Cleveland Browns. As you saw the Jacksonville War Room clapping for their pick. So that mandates us to sort of stop our discussion about Blake Bortles and turn to you, Mike Mayock, and say, who do you think the Buffalo Bills would be hopping up 5 spots to go take? Could this be Khalil Mack going to Buffalo?
If it's not Khalil Mack, I think it's going to be the tackle, Jake Matthews. They've got a heavy need at right tackle. It makes sense. They've got a young quarterback they have to protect. So for me, I think it's got to be offense. They're pretty good on defense, and that young quarterback needs to be protected. So it's either the wide receiver, Sammy Watkins, or it's the tackle, Jake Matthews.
Wow, Sammy Watkins sitting right there. That is tempting for a young quarterback now, right, Mike?
Well, either way, you're helping that quarterback, right?
Either way, you help him.
Or a wide out.
Protect him or give him somebody to throw to.
Yeah.
But the Blake Bortles thing, I'm happy for the kid. Let's go back to Jack. Here's a homegrown kid that gets to stay in state, and we had him on the board at the combine. He's a sharp guy. He's a big, tough guy. He's pretty darn athletic for a 6'5" size. We didn't know he'd go this early, but we certainly thought he'd be in the top 10. I'm happy for Blake Bortles, and I know Jacksonville is too.
And it's a big day for him, and we're all happy for him because it's a big day for all of these kids. But I tell you, you better get some help around that kid pretty quickly.
That's it right there.
You got Justin Blackman, who they are on record saying they don't know if he will be available to the Jacksonville Jaguars this season. So, all right now, we've been talking all year about the quality of wide receivers in this draft, in the depth of the quality of wide receivers in this draft. Well, they better go and find a few to help this kid, or this can be a long process.
Maurice Jones-Drew, right? You better put some pieces around this kid, or we've seen it in our league before.
Here's the beauty. He doesn't have to play day one, and I believe he needs a redshirt year. Even at the 3rd pick, Chad Henne's going to start the season, I believe, as the quarterback for Jacksonville.
The trade details, if I may, because the picks about to be in, are in. Buffalo, to move up 5 spots, gave up their number 1 in next year's draft. Whoa. And the 109th pick overall in this year's draft, with also the 9th overall pick. So Cleveland has dropped down from 4 to 9, got a 1st rounder in next year's draft, which means it'll be 2 straight years in a row for them with 2 first-round picks, and a 4th rounder, and then next year's draft as well. Here's Commissioner Goodell.
The Cleveland Browns have traded the 4th pick to the Buffalo Bills. With the 4th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Sammy Watkins, wide receiver, Clemson.
Well, that's what Michael Irvin and I just talked about. You've got a young quarterback in E.J. Manuel. 1st-round pick a year ago, very talented kid. So now what do they want to do? They want to surround him with a weapon. And Michael, what they got was, in my opinion, the premier wide receiver in this draft.
Yeah, speed. He can get it in returns. And what's great about this pick, when you got a guy like Sammy Watkins, the explosiveness that he brings, hey, I can wait, because I still think he has to develop some things on a pro level, but he's so quick, Rich. Guys, you can throw him hitches, quick screens, let him take it the distance, and that'll help E.J. Manuel, the young quarterback.
Versatile guy. He's big and strong. He could be a running back if you asked him to be. He could be a return guy. Throw him the bubble screen. Like you said, Mike, he's the most dynamic player at wide receiver in this year's draft in my mind. And boy, they got a steal right there. Buffalo Bills with Sammy Watkins.
And they needed an everyday guy.
You basically said to the New England Patriots, if we can't stop you, we're going to try to outscore you. Yep. And that's what they're taking that approach.
Remember last year they took Robert Woods in the second round at wide receiver. They've got Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson.
So they're surrounding that young man with a ton of weapons and said, we are going to support you.
And don't forget Spiller sitting in the backfield as well. They've got some guys who can run the ball, and Fred Jackson. They're building something in Buffalo and Western New York. E.J. Manuel, the quarterback there for the Doug Marrone coach team. You saw Russ Brandon, the president of the Bills, was cheering and pumping his fists for Sammy Watkins, who I believe is taking a selfie. If I'm not mistaken, that is exactly what is going down.
Right.
A Godelphi is what it's called. That's the nickname. That's the new nickname for the...
I went to St. Louis, and we took Torrey Hope with that 6th pick, and we had other receivers. Very similar to what Buffalo looked like. And boy, we took off. And that energy that he brought to the other guys, it was amazing what that did.
Well, it's time for Sammy Watkins to be welcomed to Prime Time, presented by Jeep. Prime?
Buffalo? A Florida boy going to Buffalo?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I thought they was messing with him when they said they was going to pick me, but they trusted him and they believed him, and now it's time to start playing.
You excited about playing with E.J. Manuel?
Yes, sir. I mean, he's a great quarterback. I played against him. They beat us pretty bad, but I respect him, and I'm ready to get to working with him.
You know you are the highest draft pick ever from Fort Myers, Florida.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. Just to see you get from there. I looked up to you all my years and tried to be hungry and dedicated, and now look where I'm at now.
Well, you got the number. Call me if you need me. I'm proud of you, baby.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's take a look at Sammy Watkins. And this first play, I think, personifies the kid. Separation on the slant. Now watch him turn and run over the safety. And with that 4.4 speed, he runs away from everybody. This kid has an edge about him that you don't often see from a wideout. Bubble screen. Again, run after the catch. Look at the explosion, the acceleration. He gets north, he gets south. And look at this, against press, he uses his hands. There aren't many wide receivers, Michael Irvin, that can use their hands, widen the corner to give the quarterback a throwing lane, and then run like that with the football. He's special.
He is special, man, and you can see right there. We know how difficult most guys have when they come in this league and getting off that press. That hand-eye movement right there, that looks great. And here's the comparison for me. And we talk comparison, and we say, oh, we look at speed, we look at height, we look at size. I look at style of play. You just saw these tapes and watch this tape. This is a powerful playing wide receiver. Very aggressive, very strong at the point of the catch. And this is exactly what Dez Bryant is. Very strong at the point of a catch. Run through tackles, run through them, get to the end zone. The Buffalo Bills picked up a true #1 receiver to add with those guys they have.
The latest member of the Silver and Black has been selected. The pick is in. We are soon to hear the announcement. Daniel Jeremiah, Ian Rappaport, what's the Raiders' line of thinking, you think?
Well, Rich, going into this draft, what the Raiders planned to do was take Khalil Mack if he was there, or receiver Mike Evans if he was there. They wanted a big play receiver or a big play defender. Now both are there. DJ, what do they do? What do they need?
Everybody just expected Khalil Mack to be gone. It was going to be Mike Evans. Now they have a tough decision to make, and people around the league said the ultimate wild card was Derek Carr at quarterback, but that'd be a trade back scenario, Rich.
Well, Mack or Evans is there, and you know the Falcons are rooting for Mike Evans to wear silver and black right now. With the Falcons sitting there at 6 overall, and the idea that Mack could drop to them, they wouldn't have to trade up to get him. The pick is in. As you could see, that's the draft party that we just showed you of the Oakland Raider faithful. Getting ready to hear what the pick is here. Mike Mayock, in the 5 seconds, you got something for me?
Well, I think it is Mack. A lot of people want to know how he fits in a 4-3. Hey, think Von Miller. Sam linebacker on first down, sub package off the edge.
In the same division. Let's give a listen on who the next Raider pick is. The commissioner announcing it.
With the 5th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Khalil Mack, linebacker, Buffalo.
There's Khalil Mack. His mom wanted him to go back to school to Buffalo. He was supposed to be a 4th-round choice in last year's draft, or a 3rd-round choice at best. He went back to Buffalo. And now, Mike, he is the 5th overall selection of the 2014 draft going to the Oakland Raiders.
6'2½", 251 pounds. He ran 4.65, but he's faster than that. His game tape against Ohio State was the single best game tape I've ever seen against Ohio State by any player. So in the biggest game of his career, he came up largest. I think for Oakland, on first down, he's a Sam linebacker, just like Von Miller. They get in the sub package. He comes off the edge. He plays with intensity. He plays with energy. And I think he's going to be an all-pro, Mooch.
I do, too. And you know, Reggie McKenzie has had a very busy offseason, signing free agent acquisitions left and right. And now you add arguably the best or second best defensive player in this draft to your team. I know Jason Tarver is elated right now because he's a creative guy. He will find ways to use this guy as not only a pass rusher, which he does best, but in coverage and a disruptive player from Buffalo. Nice pick by the Raiders.
Mike, number one in your power ranking, this guy here.
Yep.
And the talent deserved. I watched the Buffalo game against San Diego State. Wanted to know who was that kid making. He made so many plays in the game. It was unbelievable that you hadn't heard a lot about him. But boy, the cream rises to the top. I believe moving to the Raiders now, they have their Von Miller. They have a guy that now is going to attract attention and make other guys better.
It's now time for him to be presented to Prime Time. Welcome to Prime Time, presented by Jeep. Dion?
God, this guy walked out of here smiling. His personality is unbelievable. How excited are you?
I'm blessed, man. I'm very excited, man, to be an Oakland Raider, man. This is a dream come true.
Did you think it would be Oakland?
That's the thing, man. You never know, man. I kept my mind open every day, even though you heard a whole lot of other things, man. And God is good, man. I'm blessed.
Mike Mayock, our draft guru, said you have the ability to be an all-pro player.
No doubt. It's time to show him now. Yeah, I want to go out and prove that.
God bless you, man. I'm proud of you.
All right, that's Deion Sanders with that. And
where
as we
will Johnny Manziel
check,
go?
exactly, that's right. The question that we have right now about that, with the Falcons on the clock and then the Bucs, we've been talking for months. The Falcons need a tackle. Everybody but Greg Robinson's on the board. The Bucs might want Mike Evans. He might be available for them before the Vikings have a shot, perhaps, at Johnny Football.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
At Golden Corral, we love seniors. Right now, our early bird special is just $7.49, drink included. You heard that right. Choose from all the delicious food you love, and your drink is included for just $7.49. It's appetizers, farm fresh vegetables, entrees like our slow-roasted pot roast, our famous meatloaf, and more. Not to mention our new and improved Las Vegas-style mini desserts. It's the $7.49 early bird special. It's just for seniors, and it's only at Golden Corral.
Water has a persistence to cut through mountains and carve out valleys. It takes the same kind of determination to build your dreams. In 1873, Adolph Coors came here to build his, a dream of brewing a beer with pure Rocky Mountain water. And to this day, it's made the same way. Persistence. It has its benefits. Coors, the banquet beer.
As the official hotel of the NFL, we're always looking for new ways to be your competitive advantage. And we think we found it. Welcome to Home Field Advantage, or Courtyard, the official hotel of the NFL.
Time is now! Now, let's go! Cowboys ready! Don't wait. It's over. You kidding me? Touchdown!
welcome back. So Clowney went to the Texans, Robinson to the Rams. Blake Bortles, the first quarterback taken in this year's draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bills traded up to get Sammy Watkins. They gave up their number 9 to Cleveland to swap picks this year, and then gave up no other picks in this year's draft to do that. They gave up a 1 and a 4 next year, and Khalil Mack is the latest pick in this draft, an Oakland Raider, with the Falcons having 2 minutes left on the clock. Let's take a look at Mack.
This is him against Ohio State. He starts speed, converts it to power, gets up underneath the pad of the right tackle from Ohio State, jacks him back into the quarterback, and makes a play. Again, against Ohio State. Watch him dip. That's a natural ability to bend and then run the arc to the quarterback with tremendous closing speed. At the combine, he ran 4.65. Trust me, folks, this kid plays faster. He had 3 interceptions this year. He took 2 of them back to the house. He covers like a safety. He rushes like Clowney. This kid, I think, is going to be something special for the Black Hole.
And 90 seconds now until Thomas Dimitroff and the Mike Smith and the Falcons contingent make their pick. They're on the phone right now. As you can see, Rich McKay is sort of walking around the room. Mike Smith's on the phone with one prospect right now. And again, coming into the draft, we thought they might trade up. They didn't. We thought, okay, they need to protect Matt Ryan. They've got everybody but Greg Robinson at their beck and call right now from that group. Mike?
Yeah, it worked out perfectly for the Atlanta Falcons. And by the way, it gets interesting at number 7, because if Atlanta, as I suspect, will take Jake Matthews at number 6, then sitting at 7 is Lovie Smith. Mike Evans is there. There's a rumor circulating it could be Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle from Pittsburgh, who would then fit in with Gerald McCoy, and they reenact the old Tampa Bay 2. So this board sets up tremendously well because of Bortles going at 3. Now everybody's getting 1 pick closer to who they want.
And none of the names that you've mentioned are named Manziel. That would put the Vikings, a quarterback-needy team, on the clock there at 8 for Johnny Manziel. And you said that if he gets past 8, then look out below and Jerry Jones.
You're right. To be fair, there's been a lot of Tampa Bay Manziel mania also.
There sure has.
I haven't bought into it, but it's out there. So they've got their choice.
And we're already a minute and change into the Bucs being on the clock, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's hear from the commissioner with the Falcons pick.
With the 6th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Jake Matthews, tackle, Texas A&M.
Mike, this guy here, we did our mock draft. What, 5 tackles went in the first round, and he was the second one. And I mean, you know what you're getting in a Matthews at tackle. The guy bench 24, vert 30 and a half. Big guys just don't do that kind of stuff. Great footwork. I'm telling you, I would love to run behind him. I can't say he remind me of Orlando Pace. I don't know if he's that good of an athlete.
Right.
But right behind Orlando Pace, not a bad guy to play behind. I'm telling you, that right there is something to build on.
And you saw the Falcons fans enjoying the pick. The Falcons war room applauding the pick. You saw also moments ago his Hall of Fame, Bruce Matthews, Hall of Fame dad, putting the jacket on. There he goes. Stop if you've heard this before. Matthews is coming into the National Football League.
How about the lineage? You mentioned Dad. His uncle Clay played 19 years for Cleveland. His cousin Clay plays for the Packers. His cousin Casey played for the Eagles. His brother Kevin played at A&M. And his younger brother Michael is the center at A&M.
It's the other royal family in the National Football League. You get the Mannings and the Matthews, right?
It's unbelievable. This kid is special. He's a technician.
Atlanta needs him. They're hurting in the running game.
The running game. Matt Ryan took a beating.
Yeah, third most sacked quarterback in the league. You got to protect that guy.
And I commend him and what he did. But boy, he took a beating.
So I believe they're going to play him at right tackle year 1. Sam Baker, who they drafted several years ago, is down to 319 pounds. Let's take a look now. Just his pass pro is so simple. He's a natural bender. Look at that. He shoots his hands inside all the time. He's not a grabber. He's got tremendous technique. Watch him in the run game now. Take him, hip snap, out of the hole. Watch the hip snap. Run him out of the hole. Easy cut. Every once in a while, Marshall, you said it, he's not a great athlete. Every once in a while, he will struggle with speed. I thought his game against Missouri wasn't quite as good, but Marshall, he's a technician, and he's going to help Atlanta day one.
But Marshall, you talked about him helping in the passing game. The reason I mentioned the running game, because Julio Jones was hurt with Atlanta all season. They didn't have Rowdy White all season. So when they'll have those guys back, he needs to make sure he helps to complement that in the run game, give them something solid. You just talked about he'll work on his feet at getting better to give them the protection. But boy, they need that. They need that big help.
Yeah, he might be the best pass protector in this draft, Marshall, either on the right side or the left. He's done both, right? But their franchise quarterback, Matt Ryan, was the third most sacked guy in the league. You got to keep him upright if you want to get back to winning that NFC like they had 2 years ago, home field advantage.
Let's just think about the NFC South and what it looks like. We saw the Saints. They're going to rush the passer. Carolina, they rush the passer. Lovie Smith teams, they get after the passer. So what do you have to do? You must protect your franchise quarterback. You give him $100 million, you can't put him in the bucket.
Yeah. It's a really good point. And now let's take the next pick, which is Tampa. Lovie Smith, you just mentioned Tampa. There's an embarrassment of riches of picks for them right now.
Yeah, Mike Evans was one of those players that we've been pegging to number 7, and he's available, and same with Johnny Manziel. For the moment, there's new blood from the bloodline in the National Football League, and it's time for him to be presented by Jeep and Deion Sanders. Welcome to Primetime indeed, Deion.
You're exactly right, Rich. Another Matthews. Is this the family occupation?
I think it is. It's starting to become that. Man, I'm just so proud right now. I'm so proud to represent my family and have this opportunity to be an Atlanta Falcon. Man, this is awesome. I can't even describe it right now. It's unbelievable.
I know you're excited, but they're just as excited in Atlanta. Do you not understand how bad Matt Ryan needs you?
I'm looking forward to protecting him for a long time. That's all I can say. That's awesome. This is just a great situation, and man, I just feel so blessed, so humbled and blessed. That's all I can say. It's just God is good. This is great.
Let's get those boots, guys.
Yeah, right here.
Back to you, Rich.
All right, we check out the kicks from the new man who's going to be kick slide blocking in Atlanta.
How about you, Isaac?
Listen,
Nice.
I'm trying to be on top of my game.
I got some of those.
We're back with more. We will not miss the pick. We're back with the Bucks pick in a moment.
So now you're bringing Bridgestone's tire technology to the sports world in the form of this performance soccer ball?
That's right. The same extreme grip and performance technology we engineer into our Potenza tires is being tested here with the help of U.S. soccer star Alex Morgan.
Seriously? Little too much grip.
Yeah, well, it does make for a great tire.
At Bridgestone, our passion for performance knows no bounds.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah?
We've got Allstate, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Well, I found this new thing called
Allstate Quick Photo Claim.
It's an app. You understand that? Just take photos of the damage with your phone and upload them to Allstate.
Really?
So you get a
quicker estimate, quicker payment,
quicker back to normal.
I just did it. But maybe you can find an app that will help you explain this to your father.
Introducing Quick Photo Claim. Just another way Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, as if you didn't already know, the first round's going to be in the books.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, it is. Special time, 11:30 Eastern. That's after the first round of the draft.
NFL Network brings you behind the scenes as the crucial decisions are made. Only we can take you inside 16 more rooms.
We're thrilled to have you here.
Giving you access like no one else. The 2014 NFL Draft, tomorrow at 7, live on NFL Network.
Go somewhere you never thought you'd ever be. Go jump in a lake. Go out and forget you even have a job. Go to Bass Pro Shops for great deals on great gear. Your adventure starts here. Make every day on the water a perfect 10 with a Sun Tracker. All new Sun Trackers come standard with an industry-leading 10-year bow-to-stern warranty, assuring that your family's days on a Sun Tracker are the best days ever.
Every Sunday is an opportunity for breakthroughs and comebacks, upsets and miracles, and for new stars to become legends. NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV is your opportunity to become the most powerful fan and choose the matchups you want to watch. That's every game, every Sunday, no matter where you live. For the most football on television, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS to order NFL Sunday Ticket only from DirecTV.
So the last pick, once again, Jake Matthews going to Atlanta, adding a little bit more pizzazz to that Week 14 Falcons-Packers Monday night game when Cousin will be on the line of scrimmage opposite Cousin.
We can't use bloodline.
More bloodlines. That Matthews family, something else. The pick is in for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Mike, again, we've been saying for the past few minutes, they wanted Mike Evans. He is there for the taking.
Could be a left tackle. It could be Mike Evans. It could be a quarterback. They've got an embarrassment of riches here.
With the 7th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Mike Evans, wide receiver, Texas A&M.
So Mike Evans out of Texas A&M is going to join Vincent Jackson.
Okay.
Wow. And the aerial attack for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up this fall as Evans is enjoying the moment with his family. The Cleveland Browns, who swapped picks with the Bills to go from 4 to 9 earlier tonight, just hopped up and swapped spots with the Minnesota Vikings to go from 9 to 8. We will get you the draft trade details and discuss that in a matter of moments about what that could be all about. But first, Michael Irvin, Mike Evans is joining Vincent Jackson in the same aerial attack for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What does that mean?
Well, I tell you, the first thing it means that we can be fine at quarterback. We'll be fine with almost whoever you put at quarterback with that kind of size on both sides of the football. This is you talking to 6'5" guys that can get down the field and go up and make plays. Vincent Jackson can do it. This young man can certainly do it. This is a big set, reminiscent of what he had in Chicago, Josh McCown had in Chicago.
That's right.
Big receivers going up and getting that football.
Yeah, you got two A&M guys that drafted back-to-back here, and you said it. Josh McCown now, newly acquired quarterback in Tampa, says, I've got the same deal. Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall last year. I've got Evans and Vincent Jackson this year. Things are just getting better and better for me.
He was hugging his daughter, Mackenzie, and his mom, Heather, before his coach, formerly of Texas A&M, his former coach, Kevin Sumlin, and then Johnny Manziel, who's still back in the room as he is coming out still wiping the tears from his eyes, Mike.
You know, and he's what today's NFL wide receiver is all about with the advent of the back shoulder fade. The bigger wide receivers that can play outside the numbers and in the red zone. And even if they're covered up, quarterbacks are throwing the ball up in the air. And the buzzword now is catching radius. What does a player have as a catching radius? He's 6'5", he's 231 pounds, he's got 35-inch arms, and he jumps 37 inches. So paired with Vincent Jackson, it's going to be like basketball on grass. Throw the ball up. Josh McCown last year, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception in 8 games in Chicago. I think he's going to have some fun.
Mike, we said it with Jadeveon Clowney going with J.J. Watt. We saw it happen with Alshon Jeffries and Brandon Marshall. When you have that mentor sitting in a room with the guy to teach him how to work, because that's the hardest part about coming to the NFL. That everyday grind of working, how to get better, how to study film. Mike Evans will learn that from Vincent Jackson, the guy who I watched in San Diego grow and mature as a big play wide receiver. Now he's going to get to show that and pass that down to a guy like Mike Evans.
Well, that's back-to-back A&M picks, and we have to wonder if we're going to see back-to-back A&M picks. For the moment, though, we send things down to the stage. And Deion Sanders is with Mike Evans. Take it away, Brian.
Back-to-back Texas A&M picks, and you've been fighting the tears since you walked out of that draft room.
Yeah, man, it hit me just so fast. You know, it's so surreal moment, man. I'm just so blessed, man. All praise be to God, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Oh, man, it's a great moment for me.
Going to Tampa to play alongside Vincent Jackson, two huge receivers. How excited are you?
Very excited, man. Can't wait to get to work in Tampa. Great city. Can't wait to meet all my teammates and learn from Vincent Jackson.
Thank you. Back to you, Rich.
All right, thanks very much, Deion Sanders. So all the Browns did was flip a 5th-round pick in this year's draft, 145th overall, to go up from 9, where they moved into earlier this hour, by getting a 1 and a 4 in next year's draft from the Bills, who used that to go up to 4 to take Watkins. The Browns now sit 8th overall. Is this Johnny Manziel? Is this Johnny Football, Mike Mayock? Is this Johnny Football? They trade up for him? Who else would they trade for if not Johnny Football here?
Oh, boy. It might be a tackle. It might be the last tackle who they didn't expect to be here, Taylor Lewan. I'm having trouble thinking they're going to go Johnny Football here, but if they do, boy, it'd be fun. This whole place is going to go nuts.
Well,
you know, I would like, go ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, we got 15 seconds.
Well, I was just saying, man, I like that Mike Evans. That Mike Evans is like Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson almost gave you 2,000 yards. This guy, against the last 2 champs, put up over 200 yards.
Browns fans are on the edge of their seats. Will they be getting Johnny Football? I can't wait for this pick. Will they be getting Johnny Manziel to Cleveland, the first of 2 first-round choices in tonight's draft?
The Minnesota Vikings have traded the 8th pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 8th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Justin Gilbert, defensive back, Oklahoma State.
The first defensive back of the draft goes, while Manziel still sits in the green room. Justin Gilbert was the apple of the eye of Mike Pettin and Ray Farmer and crew in Cleveland. Your thoughts, Mike Mayock?
Understand that Mike Pettin is a former defensive coordinator. Mike Pettin is used to having a shutdown corner. I actually thought the kid was going to Minnesota and Mike Zimmer, but in the same spot, Cleveland comes up and get him. And Rich, when you draw it up, when you draw a corner up, he's 6 feet, 202 pounds, 33-inch arms. He ran 4.37 at the combine. He returned 6 kickoffs for touchdowns. He is the prototype corner in today's NFL.
And you throw him back there in the same secondary as Joe Hayden.
Exactly. And that's what he's talking about.
And going to battle in the AFC North with Gilbert and Hayden and the rest of the very young defensive crew that's getting better and better every year, Mike.
Yeah, I like this guy. 2-time All-American. He's long. We just saw the guy getting drafted in front of him, Mike Evans, the tall receivers. Well, this guy plays tall. We see Richard Sherman play with some length and some coverability like this guy. But he's strong, Mike. 20 on the bench. Not only was his 40 time the fastest in the defensive backs, but his bench press. This guy's strong, and he's tall, and he can scoot. And let's not forget about that returnability.
And I believe that's a Punters Are People Too t-shirt that's down there. Oh, yeah. In the Cleveland Browns party where they're soaking this thing in. Mike, tell them more about their
watch this kid's movement skills. He's long at 6 feet. He's going to run the route for Marquise Lee. He's going to undercut it, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he's gone. Tremendous ball skills. He can play press. He can play off. Here he is, little bail technique. Watch him run the route for the receiver. He's going to get hip to hip, wall him off, and catch the football. That is rare ball skills for a defensive back. And finally, watch him as he follows his blockers right here, right behind the blocker. Now it's gone. 4.37. Kickers that are people too can't tackle.
Nicely put.
And he finishes the run. He is a special player, Marshall.
Some people aren't tacklers. What can I tell you? Some people aren't tacklers. As we are now halfway to the Vikings needing to make their pick. We're also on the draft board halfway to the Dallas Cowboys pick with a certain Jonathan Football sitting back there in the green room. Let's just keep those eyes on the horizon. That's all. While we now throw our attention to the stage, Deion Sanders, take it away.
You're getting ready to play alongside the great Joe Hayden. You told me you kind of expected this.
Yeah, a couple of days, the day before I actually got here in New York, I met with the Browns in a hotel in Houston. They flew all the way down to meet with me, so I had a pretty good feeling coming from there.
What did they say?
They didn't really say that they were really going to take me. They were just asking me a bunch of questions about my life, myself, and my family. So, I enjoyed talking to them, and I felt good after the meeting.
You think they wanted to make sure you was going to stay focused on football and not the streets?
Yeah, they asked me a little bit about Joe Hayden, too, like him being a top guy, how to
plan on coming in and playing. I told him I expected to learn from him and grow from there. I don't plan on coming in and trying to do too much early, just trying to earn their respect from the older guys.
First corner off the board. All right, my man. Back to you guys, Rich.
Thank you very much. Who do you think Mike Zimmer and that Vikings team is going to take? The picks in.
I think it's a defensive pick. They were 32 or last in the league in points allowed a year ago. Mike Zimmer walks in, and I have a ton of respect for this man. If they don't take a corner like a Darqueze Dennard, I think it's going to be the edge rusher, Anthony Barr. Think about who they have on the edge. They just paid Everson Griffin a lot of money to be a defensive end. Brian Robinson, who's a good, tough player, but doesn't scare anybody off the edge. They need somebody honking off that edge. That makes your defense better. So I think Anthony Barr or their second corner, whoever that may be, probably Dennard. Barr or Dennard.
Thought maybe this would be the place they wanted to Blake Bortles, but that guy's long gone now. The other guy I'm thinking about is maybe C.J. Mosley, an inside linebacker there. Because Mike Zimmer, he wants to build that thing up. He's playing against some good.
Mike, the interesting part, and we talked about this draft, is it's a very deep draft, but there's a lot of teams who have multiple needs. Which is, we're sitting here like, boy, usually after 4 or 5 picks, we kind of have things slotted in what teams need. But a team like Minnesota, I mean, they need so much.
Right. Which, by the way, Marshall's a perfect reason why they just dropped down one spot. You get a 5th-round choice, which once upon a time for a certain team turned into a guy named Richard Sherman. You never knew who a 5th-round pick could turn into, so you just need to keep stockpiling picks, certainly in a draft that you think is chock full of talent.
But that cornerback there, he's a unique player, because Mike mentioned it's one thing to be able to knock the ball down when you stop a guy. It's another thing to be Deion Sanders and take it the other way. So, but the last few teams, Atlanta, they were last in rushing. They got a tackle. Tampa, they were last in passing. They got a receiver. The last 2 teams, they addressed their major needs, and let's see what this
The best part about it is, let's say things don't work out. What do you get? You got a return guy.
Best one in the draft.
What about Manziel, though? We're nerve turning.
Well, we're 8 picks in, which means it's our first time to check the best available, engineered by the good people of GMZ. Taylor Lewan is at the top of your board, and there's a tight end. And Eric Ebron at the 2 of your top remaining tackles are still sitting there, while Johnny Manziel, 10th overall on your draft board, is still sitting there with the 9th overall selection soon to be announced. We're also 6 and 4 and change into the Detroit Lions being on the clock at 10, Mike. So you think this could be a...
I think, you know what? Anthony Barr was rumored to go to Detroit and Tennessee at 10 and 11. I think this is going to be Anthony Barr. I think it's going to be Minnesota taking him ahead of those 2 teams. Remember, we talked about a draft nugget, and I said Barr was going to be the 3rd edge guy and higher than you think. I think we're going to see it right here.
Well, there's a Peterson fan, and we also have some figurative planes backed up on the runway here as the Lions have already made the pick. And the Titans, 11th overall, are on the clock 30 seconds into that. So we've got some catching up to do, starting with the Vikings selection. Here's the commissioner.
With the 9th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Anthony Barr, linebacker, UCLA.
Well, that's what I thought. Edge rusher, almost 6'5", 255. He's only been a defensive end for 2 years. Was a converted running back, explosive. He needs core strength. He needs experience. But when you draw it up, does he look like Jason Taylor or what?
Yeah, he does.
When you draw it up, and that's kind of how he plays.
So there he is, Anthony Barr. They're clapping more than 8 times there, let's put it that way. As UCLA Bruin is now a Minnesota Viking from Mike Zimmer, his first choice as a head coach in the NFL. He's been waiting a long time to have that personified, and it is in the form of Anthony Barr. As we're waiting for the Lions pick, tell us a little bit more about
Take a
Barr,
look at
Mike.
this kid when he comes off the edge, and he has no idea what he's doing. It's just natural ability and ability to dip and go, strips the football. Watch him dip again. It's all speed. It's all natural ability. When he learns how to use his hands, when he learns a counter move, he's best in the run game when he chases from behind. point of attack, he's not great. He's got to get stronger. He's got to learn some counter moves because he gets stuck. But trust me, folks, a ton of upside, and Mike Zimmer and that staff will get it out of him. And I think he'll be special.
He's the first top 10 pick from UCLA since Jonathan Ogden. Wow. That's how long it's been for the Bruins. And look who's going to make this pick for the Lions.
Hey, look. We have a special guest to announce the Detroit Lions selection. Please welcome one of the greatest players in NFL history, Hall of Fame running back, Barry Sanders.
Thank you. Thanks again, fans, for voting me on the cover of Madden NFL 25 last year. This year, fans will vote one of these stars on the cover of Madden NFL 15. For more info, go to maddencover.com. Fans, you're on the clock. It is now my pleasure to announce that with the 10th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Eric Ebron, tight end, North Carolina.
There he is, Eric Ebron, next to his fiancée as of today. He dropped to a knee atop the Empire State Building today, Mike Mayock.
Who did?
Eric Ebron.
He did what?
Huh?
Dropped to a knee.
He dropped to a knee in front of the, what does that mean?
He's happy to go with that.
He got engaged.
That quarterback over there,
He's
Matthew
crying.
Stafford.
There he is next to his fiancée and the rest of his family there. While the Lions faithful are adding a tight end of significance to the offense with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson. Golden Tate there as well for Jim Caldwell. Your thoughts, Mike Mayock?
People ask me to compare him to Vernon Davis. Okay? He's not as quick or twitchy as Vernon Davis, but he's a better athlete with better hands. So he's a little different type of tight end than Vernon Davis, but trust me, everything this kid does is easy. He's one of the best athletes I've ever seen for that size. I think he could become a better blocker because when he wants to, he does it. I was at his pro day. Everything was simple. He catches in a crowd. He's got great hands. When you combine him with Joseph Fourier, last year, the rookie from UCLA, and Brandon Pettigrew, all of a sudden, Matthew Stafford has multiple weapons on offense.
He's got more tight ends than he can shake a stick at right now, Mike. And I thought they would go defense because the defense is where they really need help. But Matthew Stafford's the luckiest guy in the world right now. He's got weapons galore and another big weapon to go along with Calvin Johnson. They might throw for 5,000 yards every single year of Matthew Stafford's career with guys like this.
4.5 minutes to go until the Tennessee Titans choose 11th overall. We are back with more from Radio City Music Hall. Barry Sanders hugging the latest offensive prospect to be drafted by the Lions.
So now you're bringing Bridgestone's tire technology to the sports world in the form of this performance soccer ball?
That's right. The same extreme grip and performance technology we engineer into our Potenza tires is being tested here with the help of U.S. soccer star Alex Morgan.
Seriously? Little too much grip.
Yeah, well, it does make for a great tire.
At Bridgestone, our passion for performance knows no bounds.
Stand back, Suburbia. Behold, the Craftsman tractor. With an industry-leading 6-inch turning radius that's 66% tighter than a John Deere tractor. And with a top speed of 7.5 miles per hour, it's 26% faster. It's the antidote to other tractors. That's the quality and innovative performance you can expect from Craftsman, exclusively at Sears.
This season's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be best friends with that guy and that guy. We're gonna work so hard, our moves will have moves. I'm gonna make my mom proud. Good game, good game, good game. We'll be doing this a lot. We're going all the way. But I only get to play if my coaches are heads-up football certified.
Hi everybody, it's Pat Hughes. Wrigley Field is one of the most recognizable landmarks in America and is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. Louisville Slugger, the official bat of Major League Baseball, is commemorating this milestone with the laser-engraved two-tone 34-inch full-size bat. It's lasered with the Wrigley Field 100th anniversary logo and historic ballpark facts. This bat sells for $129.95 and is limited to 5,000 individually numbered units. Call Big Time Bats now at 1-866-280-BATS.
Every Sunday is an opportunity for breakthroughs and comebacks, upsets and miracles, and for new stars to become legends. NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV is your opportunity to become the most powerful fan and choose the matchups you want to watch. That's every game, every Sunday, no matter where you live. For the most football on television, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS to order NFL Sunday Ticket only from DirecTV.
Aaron Rodgers, we all know, went 24 picks till he heard his name. I mean, this is history of the draft. We all know a lot of kids wait. Some of them wait longer than expected. And for certain players, it's like Brady Quinn back in 06, this is how shoulder chips are made. This is the stuff like that Geno Smith will never forget, sitting an entire night without hearing his name called. Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of our game. He still has a fire that's fed deep within his belly over the fact that he waited 199 picks, and some people, like those on the set, chose Giovanni Carmazzi instead of him. You know what I'm talking about, Mooch?
I don't know what you're talking about, Rich.
I know Gino Clamazzi was. I remember that name.
I'm just saying. So the Titans have chosen.
Hofstra, right?
Yes. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Titans, Giants, Rams, Bears, Steelers, Dallas. Is there a spot for Johnny on that board? Michael, is there a spot for Johnny?
We talked about him ad nauseum getting out of the top 8, didn't we? And it's finally happened.
It's top 10 now.
Now we're into number 11, which is the first pressure point that we talked about for quarterbacks. Tennessee. Remember, Ken Wisenhunt, offensive guy, inherits Jake Locker with a ton of durability issues. So Johnny Manziel could be a possibility here. I also think a corner could be a possibility here. Whoever the second-rated corner on their board is.
That guttural cheer you heard in the background was the announcement that the Giants are on the clock because the Titans pick is in, and that is the war room cam of the Tennessee Titans. They have just made their first selection of the Ken Wisenhunt era in the AFC South. The Colts do not have a first-round selection tonight because they traded it to Cleveland for Trent Richardson week 2 of last year, shocking everybody. So this is, unless the Colts trade back into the first round, the last choice out of the AFC South tonight. We saw Jacksonville go Bortles, and then we saw that we're about to hear from the Tennessee Titans here. You've got, obviously, a pick coming in right now for the Tennessee Titans. Who do you think it's going to be?
I mean, as much as I would like to see Johnny Manziel just go, because you hate to see a guy continue to fall, there's no way if Jake Locker, an often hurt quarterback and injured, do you draft a guy that's going to run around and maybe expose himself to the exact same thing. So
this is one of the better offensive lines in football.
I hear you. Jake Locker got hurt last year.
Oh, I hear you.
So the Texans went Clowney. The Jaguars went Bortles. We'll hear who the Titans are going to go right now as the commissioners strolling to the podium with the Giants on the clock. 8 minutes, now less than 8 minutes to go till we hear the big blue pick. But here is the Tennessee Titans selection.
With the 11th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Taylor Lewan, tackle, Michigan. Well,
that's another piece of the offensive line there in Tennessee. As you know, they went Warmack last year in the first round.
And they signed Michael Orr in free agency to play right tackle. Keep in mind, Michael Ruse, their starting left tackle, is 32 years old. So Taylor Lewan is the highest rated guy left on my board. I guess they trusted their board here. You always hear best available. Taylor Lewan was the best available.
And his mom, Kelly Riley, is there ecstatic watching her son take the stage and block, presumably for Jake Locker. I mean, that's obviously the question that's going to be moving forward. But Taylor Lewan out of the University of Michigan is the latest Tennessee Titan.
Well, Kim Wisenhunt, he's the guy that's going to shove the football down your throat. That's just his pedigree. They want to run the football, and the question is, at quarterback, what do they have? We have no idea what they're going to look like at quarterback, but we do know, as Mike alluded to, offensive line-wise, they're going to dominate the line of scrimmage, and that's what you want. That's how you start to win football games in the NFL.
Well, let's talk about Taylor Lewan. 6'7", 309. He was the best athlete as far as tackles testing at the combine. And you can see it in his pass sets. Very easy kick slide. Occasionally gets top heavy. But where he's got to get a little better is in power. I love the down block here. You're going to see him just crush the inside player across. He's got a nasty streak to him. Occasionally, though, you can see the power. He lets that defensive lineman into his chest. He gets jacked up. So a little bit more core strength, but that's the most athletic of all the tackles. He's an immediate starter, and he will help the Tennessee Titans.
So there he is. Through the years, from Halloween all the way to this very moment, Taylor Lewan not available to protect Eli Manning for the New York Giants.
Yeah, but Zach Martin might be.
Maybe that's the name that Jerry Reese and Tom Coughlin phone in across the Hudson River. Back with more in the Giants selection in a moment.
The 2014 NFL Draft is presented by Verizon. This Mother's Day, get mom the best devices on the best network.
Papa, I'm ready to join your start lineup.
Great, Paul. Here's how I make my dough.
Wow, here's how I make my dough.
Sweet, like my new sweet chili chicken pizza.
Breaded all white chicken, fresh sliced onions, red peppers, pineapple, and sweet spicy chili sauce. Papa John's new sweet chili chicken pizza. Just $12 at papajohns.com.
Papa, check out this dough.
Better ingredients.
Better pizza.
Papa John's.
Honestly, the offseason isn't really off for me. I've got a lot to do. That's why I got my Surface. It's great for watching the game film and drawing up plays. It's got OneNote, so I can stay on top of my to-do list, which has been absolutely absurd since the big game. With Skype, it's just really easy to stay in touch with the kids I work with.
All right, Russ, you are good to go.
All right, fellas.
All right, Russ.
Back to work.
Leading a multifaceted life is anything but ordinary. Meet the hybrid that matches your drive. The new 2014 Lexus CT Hybrid with an EPA estimated 42 mpg. Embrace your extraordinary.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, as if you didn't already know, the first round's going to be in the books.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, it is. Special time, 11:30 Eastern. That's after the first round of the draft.
7 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Friday night, rounds 2 and 3, presented by Verizon here on NFL Network's coverage. Bortles and Watkins and Clowney are already gone. Man on your screen, Johnny Manziel, subject of many of the Pepsi draft tweets that you see at the bottom of your screen. here on our draft coverage that is officially, and I'm just going to say it right now, we're in Johnny Football Watch right now. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'm, some people might think I'm pounding the drums a little too much right here, but the man is a Heisman Trophy winner from 2012. He's been in the spotlight from everywhere, the back pages to the home pages of TMZ Sports. I mean, we've seen him grow up. We've seen him hit the growing pains, waiting. All these picks eventually is not that big a deal in the large grand scheme of things. What it means for him also is he might fall to a team that could win faster anyway, but it's a long wait for him. And certainly if he's there available 16th overall, the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, I assume they made sure that the roof was on this building earlier today. They checked out the nuts and the bolts. That's what's going on right now as the Giants selection is in.
I think the pressure points for Johnny Touchdown are 13 with St. Louis, 16 with Dallas. Giants are about to make their selection. I think it's either going to be the tackle, Zach Martin, or whoever their number 3 wideout is, either Beckham or Cooks.
Because they need to protect Eli, who got hammered last year.
They've got to protect him, and they need some weapons outside for sure.
Yeah, certainly. With Hakeem Nicks no longer on the team, there is the draft party in MetLife Stadium where the Super Bowl went down this year. It's a little bit of a raw night there in New Jersey. The stoic war room, because the pick is in. They're watching with the rest of us. There's John Mara also on that screen, and all the Giant fans who are here, eager to hear the name coming out of the commissioner's mouth.
With the 12th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Odell Beckham, wide receiver, LSU.
There is Odell Beckham Jr. Tears in his eyes coming out. There's some more envy from Jet fans who wanted Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie to help fill Tony Cromartie's spot. Giants signed him. A lot of Jet fans had their hearts set on Odell Beckham. Giants just drafted him. Some of the intrigue going on here in the Radio City Music Hall.
And Rich, we're talking about Mother's Day this weekend. His mom, Heather, was an All-American sprinter at LSU. So his dad played football, tailback at LSU. His mom, an All-American sprinter. This kid had 5 games over 100 yards, 5'11", 198, 4'4", 40, 38.5-inch vert. I mean, he's got all the measurables. But I also think, Michael, he's one of the best route runners in this draft.
And that's the kid. This kid knows how to run routes. We have the speed guys in Watkins. We have the big guy in Evans. And then we have the pure wide receiver route runner that I love to compare to another pure wide receiver route runner, and that is Reggie Wayne from the U. You see that body control, backhand catching the ball. He's able to widen that catch radius that you're talking about, Mike, because of his physical ability. Now, and you know this guy right here, Reggie Wayne, does the same thing. I love both styles on the football field, and both of these guys love the game of football.
And Michael, I'm going to show you the route running we're talking about, okay? Watch him on the double move here. Set up the defensive back. Take him in, be patient. Now stick it and go. And now you stack them. You see that move at the end?
Yep.
And then the body control, as you talked about, on the back shoulder.
Perfect, Mike. I got a chance to work out with this guy when I worked out and worked with the Washington Redskins. He was at the camp, worked out with the RG3 and those guys. Got a chance to talk to him. Look at him going up and
now
get that
watch
ball.
him against press. See if he uses his hands. A little swim, stack them, and now break inside. And there's that hand catch you talked about again. For a college football player, he's highly advanced in route running.
Yeah.
Two things. Cam Cameron going there helped him with this.
Good point.
And he has what we call strong mitts. That ball gets plucked out of the air, and nobody's ripping it from him.
Yeah, and Eli's a happy guy right now with Ruben Randall and Victor Cruz and Mario Manningham back. He's got some weapons now, and this guy is also a great returner, Mike.
Yes, he is.
He can help you in a lot of ways.
And at the top of our broadcast, Mike, you said the Rams might be interested in Johnny Manziel if he was still available at 13. Yep. Guess who's still available at 13 with the Rams on the clock right now? Les Snead on the phone. If Johnny's still available 4 picks from now, would that still be a consideration for the men on that screen? When will the phone ring for that man on the screen right there?
Who are the top 100 players in the game today? The best of the best.
He was a big difference in going from a good defense to a great defense.
Voted on by the players themselves.
He's one of the best.
He definitely makes my life hell.
Find out which first-timers make their debut on the list.
Jaw-dropping. He just wreaked havoc. Now you see me?
Not going to beat him to the edge.
No, you don't.
The top 100 players of 2014 premieres Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern only on NFL Network.
You've reached the age where you know how things work. This is the age of knowing what needs to be done. So why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. 20 million men already have. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Appears Buster's been busy.
Yeah, Scott. I was just about to use
That's a bunch of ground-up paper, lad. Scott's Easy Seed uses the finest seed, fertilizer and natural mulch that holds water so you can grow grass anywhere. Seed your lawn. Seed it.
To truck guys, the truck is everything. And when you put them in charge of making an unbeatable truck, good things happen. This is the Ram 1500, the 2014 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, and first ever back-to-back champion. Guts, glory, Ram.
Welcome back. Check out the Draft Tracker on NFL.com. Why don't you to keep up to date with everything that's going on in the 2014 NFL Draft? It's presented by the good people of Lexus, by the way. The pick is in for the Rams. Ian, Daniel, what do you think?
Well, Rich, one thing that the Rams were hoping for was that they would be able to select Aaron Donald. But the only thing was they would seriously consider Johnny Manziel if he was there too. DJ?
Yeah, early on in the process, about maybe a couple weeks ago, I heard the dream scenario was for them to go offensive tackle early, get Greg Robinson, and then Manziel would come and play at pick number 13. But I don't know they envisioned a guy like Aaron Donald still being on the board, Rich.
No, you're right, DJ. And, of course, Johnny Manziel is still on the board. I've been talking to people in the Cowboys draft room. They fully expect Manziel will be there when they draft. What I was told all the way through is that they would not take him. They would field offers for a trade. But what happens, Rich, when Jerry Jones gets the chance to take Johnny football? What do?
Irv? Whoa. I told you last night I'm going to every single time when it comes to this if it happens. Every time.
And you can't have enough competitors, I think. And let me just say this, too. It's one of the things I've been saying all along pre-draft for the Dallas Cowboys. I got to take a little less talent, and I want more competitive spirit and competitive men on that football team. And I don't see anyone more competitive in this draft than Johnny Manziel.
Did Jerry pass on Randy Moss?
Yes.
Trying to remember.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes, he did.
You're going way back, aren't you?
I subscribe to competition as well, but we always talk. Quarterback may be the one position that you have somebody sitting behind you. Boy, it could really push you in a way that you're not comfortable. I've only seen two guys really handle that. Joe Montana handled it well, and Brett Favre handled it well, having guys behind him and continuing to play well, making Pro Bowl.
Not having guys behind you says you have a sense of security, but the way things have gone for Tony Romo and the way that we all talk on this desk, there's possibly no security there. He understands that he has to compete and play.
Well, here's the commissioner, also with some guests to make this pick.
I am joined by Sean Coleman and his mother, Takeshia, to announce the next pick. Sean overcame leukemia with the help of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. He now plays football at Auburn University. Sean.
With the 13th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Aaron Donald, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh.
So the stout defensive line in St. Louis gets even more so. Aaron Donald added to that mix in St. Louis. Mike Mayock, tell us about this young man.
Disruptive, one gap, three technique. Lack of length concerns some teams, but not me. He did everything you're supposed to do, especially at the Senior Bowl. Here he is against Cyril Richardson from Baylor. Way too quick. Watch the hand usage there. You got to be kidding me, Kadeem Martin. One-on-one versus Brandon Linden. There goes a bull move. You've now seen three different moves, and against Syracuse. Watch him just gain leverage, push the pocket. The kid's got strength. He's as quick a defensive tackle as I've seen since Geno Atkins. The only issue is sometimes when he does get blocked, the lack of length helps him. He can't get off, he stays blocked, but I love the kid, and I think the guy you compare him to is Geno Atkins.
So both sides of the line of scrimmage get stronger, or at least have more reinforcements tonight. The Rams go and get an offensive lineman, Greg Robinson, second overall, and Aaron Donald on the defensive line. That's 3 picks away for Jerry Jones and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys. The Chicago Bears, they're on the clock.
At GMC, incredible thinking always comes first. Like the GMC Sierra, the first pickup to offer a V8 engine that gets an EPA estimated 23 highway miles per gallon. The first to offer an innovative cargo bed with LED lighting. And now during the GMC Spring Sales event, most 2014 GMC Sierras are specially priced, so you get thousands off MSRP. This month, use your special value pricing to get over $8,300 total value on this specially equipped GMC Sierra SLE.
Stand back, Suburbia. Behold, the Craftsman tractor. With an industry-leading 6-inch turning radius that's 66% tighter than a John Deere tractor. And with a top speed of 7.5 miles per hour, it's 26% faster. It's the antidote to other tractors. That's the quality and innovative performance you can expect from Craftsman, exclusively at Sears.
This is Kevin. To prove to you that Aleve is the better choice for him, he's agreed to give it up.
It's today?
We'll be with him all day as he goes back to taking Tylenol.
That was okay, but after lunch my knee started to hurt again, and now I gotta take more pills. Yeah, another pill stop. Can I get my Aleve back yet? For my pain, I want my Aleve.
Look for the Easy Open Red Arthritis Cap.
Time is now! Now, let's go! Cowboys ready! Don't wait. It's over. You kidding me? Touchdown! Let's go!
Welcome back. Anthony Barr was the Minnesota Vikings first-round selection. Eric Ebron, the tight end from North Carolina, joins the Lions offense. Taylor Lewan joins the offensive line in Tennessee. Odell Beckham Jr., who went to the same high school in New Orleans as Eli Manning, Isidore Newman High. They're now going to be they're going to be playing football together in New Jersey. And then just moments ago, Aaron Donald went to the Rams. That is the Cowboys party in the Jones Mahal in the Metroplex. Oh, my Lord. You just know. I mean, it's coming. Mike Mayock had it on his mock draft. Manziel to the Cowboys. What that would mean, we're not there. But we've got ourselves a Chicago Bears pick that is in at 14. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are currently on the clock at 15. Let's talk Bears right now, Michael. What do you have for me?
They were awful on defense on all three levels. I think the back end has got to be improved. I think it's either got to be Calvin Pryor, the safety, or the corner run needs to start soon. Remember, Mike Tomlin loves Virginia Tech players. Kyle Fuller, he's still there. He's my top-ranked corner. So on this pick, remember, Tim Jennings is 30. On the other edge, Charles Timmons is 33. So I think it's either got to be Pryor or whoever their top-ranked corner is.
Young corner. Well, here is the commissioner of the National Football League, who this week said the draft could be moving to Chicago in the near future with this pick in Radio City for Chicago.
As long as it's in April, I don't care where it is.
With the 14th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Kyle Fuller, defensive back, Virginia Tech.
So there is Kyle Fuller coming out of the draft room.
That's my guy. I mean, you want to talk about DNA. His older brother, Vincent, and Corey both played at Virginia Tech and in the NFL. His younger brother, Kendall, is a true freshman at Virginia Tech who had 6 interceptions this year. I thought he was the most NFL-ready corner I saw on tape. He's not as fast as Justin Gilbert. He doesn't move as pretty as Justin Gilbert, but he's 6 feet. He's got length. He can play inside. He can play outside. When I look at this man, he can play off man. He can press. Let's take a look. Watch him off. In the slot this time. Turn and run. Flips his hips. Now go play the football. Great job by Fuller. On the slot again. This time against Amari Cooper in Alabama. Undercut the route. Makes the play. Inside technique and off man. Watch him get his eyes back and find the football. Really good feet. Picks off Alabama. I thought that Alabama game was an outstanding effort by that young man. And finally, run support. He reminds me of Brandon Flowers when he came out of Virginia Tech. Boundary corner, tough as nails. You plug this kid in Chicago, the fans are going to love him. He can play nickel day one, or he can play outside. I love that pick.
Well, you talk about defensive needs now, Mike. Their total defense 30th, last in sacks. They can't get to the quarterback, so they went out. Phil Emery went out and signed 4 defensive ends in free agency, from Jared Allen to Lamar Houston to Willie Young, and so they didn't need the help there. So in the secondary, they needed it. I thought they might go either Calvin Pryor or HaHa Clinton-Dix, but you talk about the corner, they absolutely need that guy. They have just become a better defense because they play against A-Rod and Matthew Stafford and some great passers.
And you put a young Fuller with those guys that you mentioned earlier, the Jennings, those guys that have played a long time. You don't let those guys get out of the league without pouring into the young guy that's coming in. That's why this pick had to be made right now for Chicago. And he will teach these guys how to play. They'll teach Fuller how to be a better player.
There's one thing about that division as a corner that you must do, and you better know how to tackle. 173 total tackles, 4.5 sacks. That right there for a college cornerback says a lot. Coming into this league, you can play in any scheme with that ability right there.
Well, Aaron Rodgers. Steelers are on the clock now, and actually they're off the clock. The Cowboys are on the clock. Let's hear who the Steelers pick is.
With the 15th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ryan Shazier, linebacker, Ohio State.
Wow. This kid has come a long way this year. At 237 pounds, he ran a 4.38. And when you watch this kid play, he's all about what today's linebacker is. He's one of the fastest linebackers I've ever seen come out of college football. Watch him blitz off the edge. It's going to be interesting to see how he's used in Pittsburgh. I see him as an inside linebacker. Look at him. Watch the run. Watch him close the gap. Bang. And again, here he is at his pro day at 237. He ran 4.38. He can play inside or outside.
That's a big old
He pulled his hammy right there. Woo. I think what's going to happen, Mike, is did you see that look? Did you see that kid? Right?
That boy.
He
You
put
see
together.
what he looks like out there,
He can
man?
play football. There's no doubt about that. As Dick LeBeau has now another young player to plug in that defense, and the Dallas Cowboys have less than 4 minutes to go. And sure enough, Johnny Football is there for the taking for Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. But so, by the way, is everybody on the safety board.
Right.
Boy, the top six, both. Oh boy, Clinton Dix and the Louisville Slugger is out there for Dallas. Desperately needs help on the back end of that defense. But this young man, what a charge he would add to the listen, the national media. My Twitter feed is filled with people saying, stop talking about him. There's other people that are out there. But he has such a magnetism, and if you add him to that mix in the Metroplex, it would be off the charts.
There is nobody on that defense that scares you. Nobody. DeMarcus Ware's gone. Sean Lee, who's a really good linebacker, has had some injury issues. They got to get better on defense. However, this is the it player of the whole draft, and this is the it owner in the NFL.
Owning the it team. Go ahead, Mike. You know what, Mike?
If they take Johnny Manziel right now, this place is going to explode. And so will Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator.
Look at Aaron Rodgers' tweet. Look at Aaron Rodgers' tweet. This should be an interesting 10 minutes. Yeah, he tweeted
Mike,
out.
Last year, Jerry went out on a limb and took a player, and they played him.
And he played well.
And he helped.
Yep.
They went draft specific. And we know Jerry liked those hood ornaments. We know that. The question is right now, boy, that's a road.
It is, and the question is,
Ferrari over there. How do you pass that one up?
You take a Johnny Manziel and you got this high-profile player sitting on the bench rather than drafting a starter right now. And then if you play him, you got a $100 million quarterback sitting on the bench. And so, yes, it's going to be excitement, but boy, they need help on defense, people.
Yeah, and you know what? When we could talk about it, Mark, you mentioned it earlier about the pressure that is on Tony Romo. Tony Romo has played, and I said this, well with a lot of pressure. We don't give him all the credit, and every time when there's an interception, we put it on Tony Romo. Well, so if this does happen, I think he can perform with Johnny Manziel sitting on that bench.
Well,
he understands
Stephen Jones has just got on the phone. There's the scene.
Is that the Metroplex?
At the draft party. in Arlington, Texas. Urban is swallowing his tongue. Urban's nervous. Irv is nervous. Prime chime in. Dion?
Hey guys, I remember when Troy Aikman played, the great Troy Aikman, who brought you 3 Super Bowls. When it got to the end, those fans turned on the great Troy Aikman so bad. And remember, Mike, they were chanting for Randall Cunningham. And we could not believe it. This is a guy who brought you 3 Super Bowls. So the Cowboy fans that I know, it's all about winning and winning now. And if Johnny Manziel can give them that opportunity, if he's drafted, that's a lot of pressure on Tony Romo.
Irv, you want a safety, right? You want a safety here. Speak it. You want a safety here, right?
Dallas Cowboys need a lot of help on defense. In time, I did watch that on TV. I wasn't there when they were booing Troy, or they would not have been booing Troy. I would have been catching those passes. That's another story. But they need a lot of help on defense, no doubt. But when you get a guy like Johnny Manziel, this is a difference maker. This guy here, rather you playing him now, rather you hold on to him, I think this guy, his competitive spirit, all that he brings, it's a lot to pass up. You have a lot of other picks. You can pick up some defensive guys later on.
Is there a guy on this board on defense that you can plug on the Dallas Cowboys defense and he's going to attract the attention and make an impact?
The safeties can play, okay, and they're going to help. But at the end of the day, Philadelphia is the best team in that division. One defensive player isn't going to change that. I say you can put together a Manziel package, get him on the field this year, changed the tenor of that entire franchise. And let's see how the back of Tony Romo withstands the punishment this year. And if this young man plays well, then he's the quarterback.
And it's style on style, even if he comes in for Tony.
Yeah.
It's style on style. It's not like we're going from a big pocket passer to a guy that runs around. So the offense that you're incorporating that works with Tony's style will work with his style if that's the case.
Yeah, here we go.
With the 16th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Zach Martin, guard, Notre Dame.
So instead of bringing in somebody that could potentially supplant Tony Romo, they bring in somebody to make sure nobody plants Tony Romo. Zach Martin is the choice, Mike Mayock.
They went from one of the wild cards of the draft to maybe the safest pick in the draft. Zach Martin started 53 consecutive games at Notre Dame. I contend that he is the only player in this draft that could start at all 5 positions in the offensive line and play them at a high level. Zach Martin at left tackle. He moves easily. The knock on him is his arm length. 33-inch arms. Watch this kid bend and move. Never missed a game at Notre Dame. Really good run blocker. In the Senior Bowl, he stoned everybody all week long. I think he lost once to Aaron Donald. Look at him take Michael Sam, run him into the ground. Here's, I believe, Aaron Donald. Is this the one? Yeah. There's that short arm we talk about. Donald gets underneath him, gains an edge. That's the only time I saw the kid lose in 2013.
Natural guard.
Guard or center, Mark.
Natural guard.
3 of the last 4 first-round draft choices by the Dallas Cowboys, offensive linemen. We're back with more with the Ravens pick.
Flying high, you know how I feel. It's a new...
They say less is more. But to us, more is more. Space, technology, design. The Lexus ES350 and EPA-estimated 40 mpg ES Hybrid. See your Lexus dealer.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor. If your doctor decides Viagra is right for you, you can fill your prescription at your pharmacy or check out Viagra Home Delivery, a convenient place to fill your prescription online and have it shipped at no additional cost straight to your door. Viagra Home Delivery. Get started at Viagra.com.
Coming this summer, everything NFL is available wherever, whenever, however you want to watch it. Only with NFL Now. The best of the NFL, personalized for you, the fan. Watch on-demand highlights of your favorite teams, all your fantasy players, and never miss a big play. NFL Now brings you all the action directly to your favorite device. Watch your non-stop customized NFL experience on whatever screen you want. Your NFL, your way, now. Sign up today at NFL.com/now to learn more.
Hi, everybody, it's Pat Hughes. Wrigley Field is one of the most recognizable landmarks in America and is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. Louisville Slugger, the official bat of Major League Baseball, is commemorating this milestone with the laser-engraved two-tone 34-inch full-size bat. It's lasered with the Wrigley Field 100th anniversary logo and historic ballpark facts. This bat sells for $129.95 and is limited to 5,000 individually numbered units. Call Big Time Bats now at 1-866-280-BATS.
Every Sunday is an opportunity for breakthroughs and comebacks, upsets and miracles, and for new stars to become legends. NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV is your opportunity to become the most powerful fan and choose the matchups you want to watch. That's every game, every Sunday, no matter where you live. For the most football on television, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS to order NFL Sunday Ticket only from DirecTV.
So it all began at just after 8 o'clock Eastern when Jadeveon Clowney was the #1 overall pick. St. Louis is now Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. There's Greg Robinson is going to protect Sam Bradford. Blake Bortles, the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. Moments ago, the Cowboys celebrating their choice of Zach Martin as the tackle of Notre Dame is the 4th offensive tackle to go off the board in the first half of the draft. Complete. Daniel Jeremiah and Ian Rappaport are down in the orchestra pit. Daniel, take it away.
Well, Rich, when you look at teams that could be in play for Johnny Manziel, the Arizona Cardinals long been thought to be looking at a quarterback in this draft. Carson Palmer getting up there in age. Well, we were talking about Derek Carr, maybe even a Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles, he's long gone. Carr's still there. But Johnny Manziel, I don't know, they've had a deep discussion about Manziel, thinking he would be there. After him, you look at the Cleveland Browns at pick number 26. That's a nice value for him.
That's right, Rich. And one team that's done a lot of homework on quarterbacks, the New York Jets. Rich, take it away. We understand the pick is coming in.
That pick is in for the Ravens as the Jets are now on the clock. That was what the cheer was there. Boy, Ozzie Newsome's got his pick of Alabama Crimson Tide defensive players, does he not, Mike Mayock?
Yeah, he really does, and I think the guy that fits him best is C.J. Mosley. You talk about a guy that played inside linebacker in a 3-4, which is what they would ask him to do with the Ravens. So if Ozzie Newsome, Eric DeCosta, and John Harbaugh don't move down, I think the pick will be Mosley.
Yeah, the pick is in, and the Jets are on the clock here, which is always an interesting moment here in Radio City Music Hall. And we will find out who will be taken off the draft board by the Ravens and leaving the rest of the draft field available for the New York Jets. The commissioner coming to the podium in a matter of moments. Marshall, what do you think about the Ravens? What do they need here?
Obviously, protecting Joe Flacco is huge. 22 interceptions. He was rushed. He was hit. He was hurried. They couldn't run the football at times. But we just talked about it. Ozzie loves to go defense, and he loves his Alabama players. So don't be surprised at that.
All right. Well, let's go to the. Sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, and the other guy besides C.J. Mosley is Clinton Dix, another Alabama guy.
What about Cyrus Kwanjo?
He has his pick.
He's the last tackle in that group.
With the 17th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select C.J. Mosley, linebacker, Alabama.
Boy, he's such a solid football player. 6'2", 234. There were some concerns about his shoulder. He was medically cleared by just about every team. And when you talk about a solid plug-and-play inside linebacker in a 3-4 defense, that is him. What I love about him, he can play outside, he can play inside. Speed, recognition. Look at him shoot the gap, beat the guard and the fullback. He pursues sideline to sideline. He improved in getting off blocks this year. That was the knock on him a year ago. Gets rid of that H-block, makes the tackle. Again, watch him get off the block, bury the running back. One more time. This is the biggest thing he's improved on. Takes up a pulling guard, sheds him, makes the tackle, and he's fast enough to cover. In today's NFL, you got to open your hips and run with those tight ends and H-backs. Great coverage, tip drill, interception, Alabama. I think that is a typical Baltimore Ravens solid football player, solid pick.
And you know when you get kids out of Nick Saban's program, they are pro ready. They have practiced and played in big games all their lives. And when you have to replace a superstar in your organization, an Ed Reed, a Ray Lewis, you've got to find a young pup that you can develop and become another great leader in that organization. C.J. Mosley might be that guy.
And he's the second inside linebacker selected in the first round in the history of the Baltimore Ravens organization. We don't even need to mention the name of the other one. We already know who that would be. The Jets are on the clock. That is Marty Lyons, famed of the New York Sack Exchange on your left. Chad Pennington, former quarterback of the New York Jets, on your right. I believe Chad's here to announce the second round choice for the Jets.
I thought Chad was his son.
Young chip off the old Lions right there.
Where's Wayne Corbett?
You know, I think in this situation you're looking at wide receiver and corner, and I think with the quarterback that you just drafted in the second round, And we've had this conversation before, Michael. What do you do for a young quarterback? You give him more weapons. Wide receiver number 4 for me is Brandon Cooks. You could be looking at a Kelvin Benjamin, but I really do think they've got to help this kid out. If you look at last year, their leading receiver was Jeremy Curley with 43 catches. You got to get better.
Well, they signed Eric Decker in free agency. They signed Jacoby Ford in free agency. They got Chris Johnson, CJ 2K to add to that backfield.
What kind of culture shock do you think that Eric Decker will have going from one pass offense to this one?
Well, Michael Vick is there as well, as you could see. 5 minutes and change to go on the Jets. And if it's anything else, what the general manager John Izzo is going to do, it's going to be measured. It's going to take his time. He's going to be patient. He's going to take every last second off the clock. And the Jets fans were surprised that there were no choices in free agency made at the quarterback position, essentially. You could see, though, last year with the 2 first-round choices that they had, Sheldon Richardson and D. Milliner went. Sheldon Richardson turned into the defensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
Quentin Coples, who Joe Klecko, another member of the Sack Exchange, said this week, looks like Tarzan plays like Jane on occasion, is what he said. And then there's Muhammad Wilkerson, who's fared very well on that defensive line for Rex Ryan. So you could see that they've gone defense quite a bit in the first round. Which wide receiver do you think would be the best fit if the Jets went in that route?
Well, they got the big wide receiver in free agency, Decker. I think Cooks, who ran 4.33, I think he's a natural complement. And Michael, when we talk about wide receivers that run routes, remember we talked about backup Marquise Lee. I think this is the 3rd guy that's a tremendous route runner coming out of college football.
Marquise Lee is a great route runner, and you're right about Cook. Such speed, fastest guy, fastest receiver in this draft. You got Stephen Hill a couple years ago also, so they got height with speed. Now you can start coupling in that small guy that can really make it happen from a lot of places like Cook, and you can have something.
And I think they were hoping that an Odell Beckham would fall to them, but the other New York team grabbed him ahead of him.
Right.
But Brandon Cook's the speed guy, or maybe even a Marquise Lee, somebody like that. But they need help for Geno Smith. This guy's maturing. They gave him all the time in the world to play as a rookie, to go through those growing pains. Well, give him some more weapons so he can take the next step.
What if it ended up being Michael Vick? Then you give him a Cook that can remind him of a Deshaun Jackson, so you can say, do what you were doing then.
At some point in time, you got to have a receiver that on 3rd down, he can just win. And when you have a 5'10" guy who can run routes, run a 4.33, he's going to win when they decide to come after your young quarterback. He didn't have that. I said this last year. Geno Smith had better receivers in college than he went to in the pros. That never happened.
But we also know that Rex Ryan covets defensive backs more than any other position. Still, both Clinton Dix and Pryor are available at the safety position. You've got
Marquez Denard, Bradley Rudd. There's some really good defensive players here, but I really believe defensively they're pretty good. Their front's excellent. They got to get better on the back end, but you have to prop up the quarterback. Unless you feel comfortable with the wide receivers in the 2nd and 3rd round, and we've said how good they are. But I believe you got to get the wide out here.
Mike, Buffalo just showed you what you have to do if you want to compete in the AFC East. They move up to get Sammy Watkins to help their young quarterback. Rex has been in this division for a while. You can't just play defense against Tom Brady. Eventually, he's going to get you. You must put up points.
I agree.
How many times they went the whole first quarter without scoring a touchdown?
Right. And in case you're joining us right now, what you're referring to, Marshall, was the fact that the Bills traded a 1 and a 4 in next year's draft to move up from 9 to 4 to take Sammy Watkins back in the 8 o'clock hour. And again, as expected, the general manager of the Jets is on his own. He's on his own time. He's got his own plan, and there's now 90 ticks to go, and he's taking every last second here, Mike.
You know what's interesting is we're talking about the Jets. Rich, something you said a moment ago triggering in the back of my mind, which is the Manziel landing spot. Not to take away from the Jets, but do you think Chip Kelly and the Eagles are having a huge discussion in their war room right now?
Wow.
As Johnny Manziel continues to tumble? Really interesting.
Is that what you're thinking? The Eagles are sitting at 22.
1 minute remaining.
Is that what you're thinking?
I'm looking for the next logical spot. He recruited him out of high school. He said he fitted, and I'm not trying to change the conversation. I'm just throwing that in there. I do believe that Cooks has to be the guy for the Jets.
45 seconds to go until we get this. Jets have 12 draft choices in the 2014 draft. It's tied for most in this draft with the St. Louis Rams, who have already selected twice tonight, taking members of the offensive and defensive line off the draft board. The Jets have made their selection. Well, they even had 28 seconds to spare when they made the selection. And interestingly enough, this is a big pick in the AFC East because the Dolphins are now on the clock. So what the Jets do affects what the Dolphins' plan is going to be. And certainly they need offensive linemen in South Florida. We know that for sure.
And Cyrus Kwanjo's really the last of that first group of offensive tackles. I thought it was a natural trade down place if somebody wanted to come up and get a quarterback ahead of Arizona. Now, I don't know if Arizona has interest in Manziel, but I know the Dolphins could probably trade down and still get Kwanjo.
And by the way, Bridgewater's still back there too. Yep. There's no slouch, that Teddy Bridgewater.
And Derek Carr.
They're still on the draft board. So we're waiting to hear what the Jets pick is with the Dolphins and then the aforementioned Cardinals, who are on the clock. A lot of people believe that they are interested in a quarterback, with Carson Palmer getting longer in the tooth. And then there's the Green Bay Packers with the Philadelphia Eagles and Chip Kelly coming up at number 22. But for the moment, let's go to the stage right now. Always interesting when the Jets make a pick here in Radio City Music Hall. A lot of green-clad individuals. Okay.
Let me hold your hand through this.
I need a hug, actually. I'm okay. Here we go. Here's the commissioner of the National Football League. You're ridiculous.
With the 18th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Calvin Pryor, defensive back, Louisville.
That is really an interesting pick. To me, if you remember Bob Sanders in his prime in Indianapolis, this guy is a bigger Bob Sanders.
Big hitter.
He is a bullet. 5'11", 207, maybe the most fearless defensive back I saw on tape this year. He flies around the field. He makes plays.
And he has the best nickname in the draft as far as I'm concerned, the Louisville Slugger.
Watch this.
Better put that bat away.
Yes, sir.
Just
yes,
against
sir.
Blake Bortles. What a game that
sir.
was. Went right down to the wire.
That's hitting right there, man.
You can see him inverting up here. Watch the hustle. When he arrives, he's breaking down and trying to take your head off. In pass coverage, watch the catch here. One-handed interception. Again, got the foot down, controlled the football. I think he's a little better on the back end than people give him credit for. Everybody wants to say he's a box safety. Yeah, he's really good in the box, but I also think he can play on the back end.
That makes 6 consecutive first-round draft choices by the New York Jets. Defensive side of the ball, football players. You're looking at the Dolphin fans, eager to hear who will be added to that mix down in South Florida while Johnny Football sits. Back with more from New York City, live on NFL Network.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, as if you didn't already know, the first round's going to be in the books.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, it is. Special time, 11:30 Eastern. That's after the first round of the draft.
NFL Network brings you behind the scenes as the crucial decisions are made. Only we can take you inside 16 more rooms.
We're thrilled to have you here.
Giving you access like no one else. The 2014 NFL Draft, tomorrow at 7, live on NFL Network.
Ja pokruszyte bijana milkie kusoczki, a zatem posypiu ich na большую чашу с мороженым.
I have no idea what you're saying, but count me in.
Wild Cherry. Exclusively cherry.
Appears Buster's been busy.
Yeah, Scott. I was just about to use
That's a bunch of ground-up paper, lad. Scott's Easy Seed uses the finest seed, fertilizer, and natural mulch that holds water so you can grow grass anywhere. Seed your lawn. Seed it.
F provokes lust. It elicits pride, incites envy, and unleashes wrath. Temptation comes in many heart-pounding forms, but only one letter. F, the performance mark from Lexus.
Welcome back to NFL Network's live coverage of the NFL Draft, brought to you by the good people of Verizon for all of your NFL coverage, including NFL Mobile, and you can watch the NFL Network live. You can just grab your phone, and I think I know how this works. There we go. There we go. Here's a phone, and there's an actual, it's a very nice screensaver that's right there. There you go. The folks at NFL Verizon don't miss a single selection of the 2014 NFL Draft. Call *635 or *NFL to download NFL Mobile exclusively from the good people of Verizon. There's the Dolphins part. Well, Dan Marino's looking great, don't you think? There he is, right there. No, wait a minute. That's not the actual Dan Marino. My bad. There's the Dolphins party getting set to find out who the Dolphins are going to select in 3 minutes and change. We are obviously keeping an eye on that man in the draft room. We're back with the Dolphins pick in a matter of moments.
Bonjour. Je t'adore. Here's to a life less routine. The more connected, athletic, seductive Lexus RX. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Я покрушу тебя на мелкие кусочки, а затем посыплю их на большую чашу с мороженым.
I have no idea what you're saying, but count me in.
Time is now! Now, let's go! Cowboys ready! Ball's wait. It's over. You kidding me? Touchdown! Let's go!
This season's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be best friends with that guy and that guy. We're gonna work so hard, our moves will have moves. I'm gonna make my mom proud. Good game, good game, good game. We'll be doing this a lot. We're going all the way. But I only get to play if my coaches are heads-up football certified.
Remember when you didn't have to spend a lot to give Mom something special on Mother's Day? With ProFlowers, that's still true. Give Mom something to smile about with a dozen roses for just $19.99. That's a 50% savings. Order now, and Mom also gets our elegant glass vase. Hurry, supplies are limited. Or double the roses and add this premium pink vase and spa trio kit for just $9.99 more. Take advantage of this exclusive TV offer, and every ProFlowers bouquet is backed with a 7-day freshness guarantee. Go to proflowers.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, enter special in the box.
It makes me feel really good knowing that I've made her happy with flowers.
Well, the flowers always looked big and beautiful and pretty.
I'm thinking about you, I care about you, and so I send the very best.
This amazing TV offer is 50% off retail pricing. Go to proflowers.com, click on the mic, enter special in the box, or call toll-free 1-800-FRESHEST and mention TV. Order now.
So the 2014 offseason, Brandon Albert, who they were targeting right around this point last year, we thought there might be a draft day trade between Miami and the Kansas City Chiefs for Brandon Albert. They finally got their man this offseason. Louis Delmas, Cortland Finnegan and Noshawn Marino have been the notable additions for the Miami Dolphins, who are getting set to hear the name of their latest member as the pick is in. As a matter of fact, we're already a minute and change into the Arizona Cardinals being on the clock. Mike Mayock, your thoughts on who the Dolphins? I mean, the Dolphins need an offensive line. Let's be honest here.
I think it's got to be a lineman, Quanjo, or maybe even Xavier Suafia from UCLA.
Let's hear what the name on the draft card from the commissioner himself. He's walking to the stage right now. The Miami Dolphins, 19th overall in this draft. We're heading into the 20s after this pick.
With the 19th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jawan James, tackle, Tennessee.
Jawan James, they went offensive line, but they went Jawan James, 6'6", 311 pounds. They may have 4 offensive linemen drafted. I thought he was their best player. Right tackle, can play guard. The more tape I watched of this kid, the more I liked him. He started out in a lot of people's minds as a 3rd or 4th round pick, became a solid 2nd round consideration, and obviously Miami likes him better than Quanjo or Suafia. So when you line him up in Miami, he can play right tackle, and I think they have a big need there. He could play right guard. Either way, day one, he's going to be a starter, and they've got to rebuild that entire offensive line.
So as Jawan James goes off the board from Tennessee, the New Orleans Saints have just hopped up from number 27 to take this selection, 20th overall. Now, Saints. No, I'm just throwing some names out there. I mean, Brandon Cooks would be a name out there. Obviously, the Saints wouldn't mind adding a little bit of firepower to the offense with Lance Moore gone and the offense with Drew Brees needing. What do you think your old position coach
I think you made that pick in the mock draft. You made that pick, but for whatever reason, I think they want to get better on defense in the secondary. That when I look at them, they lost Malcolm Jenkins, although they did get Jarius Byrd. They can throw the football and they can score, but when you have to, can you stop people? And that's the problem I saw in the playoffs.
Well, they need corners, they need edge rushers, and they need wide receivers. That's the priority right there, and it might be Brandon Cooks.
Well, I don't know. That was Breeze on the phone right there. Wait a minute. Nope. We'll be back potentially with the pick. We won't miss it regardless, but we've got to take a break.
The 2014 NFL Draft is presented by Verizon. This Mother's Day, get mom the best devices on the best network. And by GMC, the official vehicle of the NFL.
At GMC, incredible thinking always comes first. Like the GMC Sierra, the first pickup to offer a V8 engine that gets an EPA estimated 23 highway miles per gallon. The first to offer an innovative cargo bed with LED lighting. And now during the GMC Spring Sales event, most 2014 GMC Sierras are specially priced, so you get thousands off MSRP. This month, use your special value pricing to get over $8,300 total value on this specially equipped GMC Sierra SLE.
This is Kevin. To prove to you that Aleve is the better choice for him, he's agreed to give it up.
It's today?
We'll be with him all day as he goes back to taking Tylenol.
That was okay, but after lunch my knee started to hurt again, and now I've got to take more pills. Yeah, another pill stop. Can I get my Aleve back yet? For my pain, I want my Aleve.
Look for the Easy Open Red Arthritis Cap.
Wait, will you just say some words to my future husband and just let him know that this is all kosher?
4 minutes ago, we gave Ian a Bud Light and asked if he's up for whatever. Then this happened.
Got it. No strippers.
It's all good. No strippers. We're just gonna get a little wild.
Are you
Bud Light, the perfect beer for when you're a little freaked out by this bachelorette party, but these ladies seem nice enough and Reggie Watts is killing it, so okay. Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. See more at upforwhatever.com.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, as if you didn't already know, the first round's going to be in the books.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, it is. Special time, 11:30 Eastern. That's after the first round of the draft.
So the New Orleans Saints flipped the Arizona Cardinals a third-round choice tomorrow night. Number 91 overall to move up to 7 spots to select somebody they've yet to select. 3 minutes and change. Marshall?
Oh, man, listen, I'm going to thank SCP for making me smarter because I think this pick is Brandon Cooks. And I'm looking at your board. For them to move up, it has to be a player that's going to make an impact on their team. And I believe Cooks brings impact to that offense. Him, Jimmy Graham,
Colston.
Drew Brees is going to have fun with that. Colston. And they have to get somebody explosive because you lost Sproles. So you need that. You need that short throw and that explosion back in your offense, but in a different facet out wide. He's not going to come out of the backfield.
I can see Cooks here, a speed guy, but they signed Kenny Stills last year, and he did a heck of a job. And he's not a real big guy. Maybe it's a big guy like a Calvin Benjamin if he wants a nice target in there.
Somebody replacing Colston in a couple of years.
Well, they like those big wideouts.
And
if it's not a wide receiver, remember, they signed 36-year-old Champ Bailey. They're hurting at corner also. There's going to be a corner run starting soon. So it could be the highest-rated corner, or, I agree, the highest-rated wideout. One of the two makes sense.
Who's the best guy, Darqueze Dennard? Who's next on your line in corners, Mike?
I like Darqueze Dennard. That's my highest-rated corner left on the board.
Yeah, Darqueze Dennard is there. Justin Gilbert was the first one taken off the board when the Browns moved up 1 spot from 9 to 8 to take Justin Gilbert after they moved from 4 down to 9. Ian Rappaport, Daniel Jeremiah, your thoughts?
Well, Rich, let me just mention one thing about Johnny Manziel, because that's something, obviously, we're all waiting for. Manziel is still waiting to get picked. Talked to a couple of sources in the Cowboys draft room. I wondered, DJ, did Jerry Jones campaign for the pick? What I was told was they had thoughtful discussion. They talked about all different sides of it, but Jones did not campaign. You know, the Cowboys have a new guy running their draft board this year, Will McClay. They wanted to do it a little bit differently, and the scouts really won this, DJ.
Yeah, we look at the Cowboys and Manziel. I want to talk about the Browns and Johnny Manziel. That decision at number 4, we thought that Johnny Manziel would be in play right there. Now you're looking potentially at pick number 26 for them to get Johnny Manziel. I don't know if anybody saw that happening. Let's send it up to the commissioner.
Good job, DJ. Good toss.
With the 20th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, Oregon State.
See, you guys mess with me about all my SAP stuff and my analytics, how they help me right there. I'm smarter right now. He is going to make an impact on that team. It's the explosiveness that Sproles brought to that offense that they no longer have. Those short throws now, those receiver screens, bubble screens, it's going to happen in a different way. And Sean, you know how he likes to run those different personnels in there. That's what they were missing last year, the ability to stretch the field.
He likes to send guys up the seams in New Orleans. And then when you send a guy up the seam, you have a little guy just like this here. You dump that ball off to him any kind of way. And this guy can run. You remember Antonio Brown?
Oh, and I said, we remember him.
And that's exactly who this guy reminds me of. It's almost like giving him a punt in the open field, and he can take it to the house. Antonio Brown does that very well. Pittsburgh used him in the same way.
That's called the freeze, by the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
and when you get
freeze.
Right, you
if I can get you to stop,
you get him in space.
I'm gonna start before you.
Dangerous.
Now remember, 190 pounds. You just saw him make a bunch of people miss at the combine. This is a guy that catches the ball easily. Ran 4.33. Can do that speed out. Doesn't have to break down. Now watch him in game action. Works the corner outside. Creates separation so to get away from the safety, gives the quarterback an ability to fit it in. And again, against press coverage, stutter. Now looking back, go. out. How about a stutter go out at the college level?
You see that separation coming in and out of that cut. That's the difference maker right there. When from the time you stop to the time I start again, in and out of cuts.
It's very rare that you have a guy that's 4'3" and he can work routes like that.
Laterally, move laterally like that.
Technician in route.
Right. And I think I'm mandated to say that if a guy is named Cooks, how can he not go to New Orleans? I knew you'd like that one, Mark.
That's a good one, Rich.
Ted Thompson's on the clock. There is Mike McCarthy as well in the Packers War Room. We're back with more in a moment.
Who's the best player in the NFL today?
That's hard. That's a tough one. Shoot, they're all good. It's the NFL.
The top 100 players of 2014.
Peyton Manning.
Jamal Charles.
Megatron. J.J. Watt.
That guy is just off fire.
He's a hellraiser.
Voted on by their peers.
That guy's a beast.
Freak of nature.
The guy's huge.
Probably the best athlete in the NFL.
Find out who made the cut. The top 100 players of 2014 premieres Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
The 6-cylinder, 8-speed Lexus GS, with more standard horsepower than any of its German competitors. This is a wake-up call.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speed Form Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
Welcome to Home Field Advantage. We're Courtyard, the official hotel of the NFL.
He's too young for this.
The Pepsi draft tweets are coming fast and furious. Half my timeline says, why are you talking about Johnny Manziel so much? Well, the other half says, tell me when he's going to go. When is he going to go? I got a tweet saying someone's not going to go to sleep until he goes.
Well,
which means you might be you could be sleeping until Friday, which, by the way, I might do anyway. Will Philly take him? Mike, you said something about a half an hour ago. Chip Kelly recruited him back in the day to Oregon. He went to A&M, that he would fit the scheme. They're sitting there after Ted Thompson, no doubt, doesn't take him. So what about it?
I had this question asked to me 20 times in the last 2 weeks in Philly on radio. And to be honest with you, I got to know Chip Kelly a little bit during the pro day season. Saw him everywhere. Chip is an outside-the-box guy. He's an offensive guy. Nick Foles just had a tremendous season. I believe 27 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. You can't play the position better for a young quarterback. However, I mean, Clinton Dix is still sitting there, and safety is a big need for them. Defense, to me, is a huge need for them. But Chip Kelly's an outside-the-box thinker, and that's the next logical pressure point, followed by Cincinnati, followed by Cleveland. They're the next 3 pressure points for the quarterback.
With less than 2 minutes to go here, who do you think the Packers look in defense, do you think?
I think Clinton Dix is a logical guy. They only have 3 safeties on their entire roster. They've got to get better. Number 24 in points allowed. they were at the bottom of near the bottom of the league in takeaways. I think they need a safety. Maybe early Marshall for a tight end. Do you see Jay Samaro or Safarian Jenkins?
I'm looking at my board right now, and one of those two guys would fit. You lose JaMychal Finley.
And James Jones is gone, too. A couple of weapons for Aaron Rodgers are gone.
That's your interior guys right there.
Right.
You have to control the middle of the field if you want your outside guys to be able to win.
Yeah, I'm sure they're discussing those two tight ends, and Clinton Dix is a good one, too, right there.
And Packers pick is in. They got Julius Peppers to join the crew, and they're clapping for the pick. Oh, hell, Ted Thompson. Oh, a little fist pound for Ted. So the Packers have made their choice.
Ted Thompson is an old-school scout. Even though he's a GM, he's at all the pro days. He's a grinder. He does it like he used to do it. He's awesome.
So, Mike, when I was in the Packer room with Gruden and Andy Reid and all us, well, the scouts were Schneider, Reggie McKenzie, Ted Thompson, all these guys that were just youngsters. We all kind of grew up together, and here they are making the decisions. Ron Wolf trained them all very well.
Pretty cool.
He's built that team through the draft.
And Ron Wolf's son is in the league now.
Elliott, yep, you bet. Doing a good job.
So the pick is in. The commissioner is strolling to the podium right now. Let's go to the podium. It's Green Bay and then the Philadelphia Eagles. One after another with the Chiefs right behind that.
With the 21st pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Clinton Dix, defensive back, Alabama.
That pick made a ton of sense. Of all the safeties in the draft, I thought this guy had the best range. He's a more natural free safety. Now, he only ran 4.58 at the combine, but he plays faster than that. Tremendous ball skills. He can tackle. I like that outfit a little bit there. Marshall's got the bow tie. He's rocking. What do you think?
Oh, he got swag.
He won the jacket competition tonight, that's for sure. Got a hug from Nick Saban.
That's called swag, everybody at home.
Now he's coming on out.
That's what swag looks like.
Is that Crimson Tide?
That right there is swag.
That's a crimson smoking jacket, it looks like.
Now, interestingly enough, Rich, that takes Clinton Dix off the board for the Eagles.
Yes, it does.
And I thought that was the most interesting guy for the Eagles.
Oh, here we go.
As the Eagles are on the clock. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go.
Let's take a look.
Listen.
Let's take a look at Clinton Dix. Tackling the run game. In the open field, he misses surprisingly few tackles. As a center fielder, he's a natural. He covers ground. He reads the quarterback's eyes. That's Johnny Football throwing the ball. Look at the break on the ball in the hit. And now, this is him in Alabama going through some of the cone drills. Just for a big guy, I remember standing next to Rob Ryan at this pro day, and Rob Ryan was licking his chops going, wow, look at this guy's hips. Look at how natural his movement skills are. And you can drop him down on a slot, and he can play man-to-man. Hey, Dion, what do you got down there, man?
I got Clinton Dix. We're not laughing about the jacket because he truly has swag. But is that going to be warm enough in Green Bay?
It'll keep me warm. It'll do me good enough. I believe so.
What are you going to bring to the Packer fans?
Man, an excitement player. A player that's all the way around the ball, loves to have fun and enjoys his game.
What's the mood back in the draft room, man? Were you getting nervous back there?
Of course, man. I got the butterflies the whole entire time back there, but I'm just glad to be a Green Bay Packer.
Congratulations. Back to you, Rich.
There he goes. Last time the Packers chose a safety in the first round was George Teague back in 1993. Also an Alabama Crimson Tide safety. Now going to Green Bay. Clinton Dix from Orlando to Alabama. Going to Wisconsin. A little bit of a different climate change. All right, the Eagles are on the clock at 22, Michael. They're on the clock at 22. And I want you to roll. I want you to, as the Eagles have their party right there. There they are in Philadelphia, PA.
Oh, boy.
Philadelphia will explode. But let me walk through a couple options here. The defensive side of the board, there are no edge rushers. There are no safeties. They could draft a corner. If they don't, it's offense, and that's either Manziel or a wide receiver, one or the other.
Back with more in a moment.
Live a full life. The new Lexus CT Hybrid with an EPA estimated 42 mpg. The further you go, the more interesting it gets. This is the pursuit of perfection.
When cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Who are the top 100 players in the game today? The best of the best.
He was a big difference in going from a good defense to a great defense.
Voted on by the players themselves.
He's one of the best. He definitely makes my life hell.
Find out which first-timers make their debut on the list.
Jaw-dropping. He just wreaked havoc. Now you see me?
Not going to beat him to the edge.
No, you don't.
The top 100 players of 2014 premieres Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern only on NFL Network.
Remember when you didn't have to spend a lot to give Mom something special on Mother's Day? With ProFlowers, that's still true. Give Mom something to smile about with a dozen roses for just $19.99. That's a 50% savings. Order now, and Mom also gets our elegant glass vase. Hurry, supplies are limited. Or double the roses and add this premium pink vase and spa trio kit for just $9.99 more. Take advantage of this exclusive TV offer, and every ProFlowers bouquet is backed with a 7-day freshness guarantee. Go to proflowers.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, enter special in the box.
It makes me feel really good knowing that I've made her happy with flowers.
Well, the flowers always looked big and beautiful and pretty.
I'm thinking about you, I care about you, and so I send the very best.
This amazing TV offer is 50% off retail pricing. Go to proflowers.com, click on the mic, enter special in the box, or call toll-free 1-800-FRESHEST and mention TV. Order now.
I know that. I hear you. Welcome back to Radio City Music Hall. As soon as the draft is over, NFL Total Access will come your way. So right after the draft, it's all brought to you in NFL Total Access form. Guess who's on the clock, people? The Cleveland Browns been all over this map. They went from 4 to 9 up to 8 to make their first selection. And their second selection, which didn't exist until they traded Trent Richardson to Indianapolis last fall at 26, just moved up to 22. Just moved up to 22.
And here's that chant.
And you can hear the chant in the Radio City Music Hall for Johnny.
If it's not a tackle, it has to be Johnny.
Well, who would the tackle be?
Cyrus Kwanjo is the last one in that group still available. I believe it's Johnny Manziel. I think this is it right here.
Boy, the dog pound will be celebrating if it's Johnny Manziel.
Can you imagine this?
They must know something.
It's like that movie Draft Day. Cleveland's moving all over the board.
Yeah, they are.
They really are.
And if you remember,
is that Kevin Costner?
No, definitely not. But you remember back when Brady Quinn fell, the Browns had 2 picks and then traded back up to get Brady Quinn, who went there, and obviously things didn't work out as well for either party in Ohio. But you can see Johnny Cleveland is one of the signs that's up here in Radio City Music Hall. So somebody would be prepared for that eventuality if that is what they have traded up to get. If they traded up and don't take him, that would be probably more shocking than him being chosen right here.
I'm guessing if they take Cyrus Kwanjo, it'll be a little bit like the first pick they took in the movie.
Hey, let's say this. Johnny would bring to the AFC North a different type of quarterback.
Yeah.
Think about the 3 that's there.
Well, here it comes.
Gotta be it. Gotta be right here, Marshall.
Here we go.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 22nd pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 22nd pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Johnny Manziel, quarterback, Texas A&M.
is coming to the state of Ohio after all. It was a long wait tonight for Johnny Manziel, but he's going to the AFC North and will open up his professional football playing season if he does get the starting job against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore to start things off in his National Football League playing career. Chosen 22nd overall, the same spot from which the Browns selected Brady Quinn and the same spot from which the Browns selected Brandon Weeden. They hope the third time is the charm.
Thank you for the karma. Rich, that was awesome.
Don't forget your hat, Johnny.
Now, I give Ray Farmer and Mike Patton a ton of credit. Look at this.
Is this the time the Browns finally get the face of their franchise to lead them to where they so crave, the place where they have been dreaming of going? Is this the young man who grew up from the state of Texas and went to Texas A&M to forge himself an identity that he's now going to place on a Browns franchise in desperate need of one? Is this the moment we're watching unfold right now for all those fans out there whose dreams have been dashed so many times? His family in the green room enjoying the moment that they thought might have happened sooner in the night, but Mike Mayock, it has happened. Finally.
Hey, Rich, I summed this video up, and I'm going to call it hope. There's hope for the city of Cleveland. And if you take a look at him in the pocket right there, in between a corner and safety, that's as good a throw as you can make. Now, watch him avoid the free rusher. Unblocked defender comes through. He runs through everybody. That's what he brings to the table. Now, I want him to climb the pocket here. It's a clean pocket. Instead, what feels most comfortable to him is open space. That's the problem. The bad tape against LSU, the bad tape against Missouri. But, Rich, right there is the hope for the city of Cleveland, and he's going to bring that electrification to the city.
Well, how long, though, Coach, will they be patient in this style, with his style? Johnny Manziel, one concern I had with him going Cleveland is Cleveland has been a fan base that has been waiting for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
How patient will they be? Because Johnny's style, Coach, is a little different than the traditional style quarterback.
Yeah, he sure is, because you got let's do a comparison tape. You know, Johnny Manziel, if you're a baby boomer generation like me, this Johnny Manziel kid right here, he's just 5'11". He moves around, he improvises, he's a little unruly, he's got some gunslinging ability, and he's creative, and he's a little bit lucky at times too. You gotta love that. But I remember as a kid, a guy named Fran Tarkenton. Look at the black and white film, Marshall. Fran Tarkenton, he was all over the place too. Look at Deacon Jones, can't tackle him, and he threw the ball down the field like nobody's business. He was under 6 feet tall. But if you're a millennial generation kid like my kids are, you say, well, he's a little bit like Russell Wilson. He's a short guy, he wins. This guy won the Super Bowl, didn't he? And he improvises and he scrambles around, he buys some time, he's got his eyes downfield, and he finds targets all day long. So Johnny Manziel type of guy can win in this league. He's won in the past, he's won currently, and Johnny Manziel is going to bring hope and excitement to the city of Cleveland.
Dion, take it away.
You must have to use the bathroom with all the water you drink right there.
I got a little break.
How hard was the wait?
It was tough, but I went into this saying I thought whatever team drafted me, whatever team fell in love with me, it would be the right situation for me. The way that happened in college, the way everything's worked out for me, I'm a firm believer in that. So a little bit of anxiousness, a little bit of nervousness, but at the same time, there's a higher power that has a bigger plan for me.
What should the Browns fans in the dog pound expect from Johnny Manziel?
Man, I'm going to pour my heart out for this team and for this organization, and continue to go in and just work extremely hard to get and try and become the football player that I want to be, and I know I can be.
Your other teammates that got drafted before you, what did they say to you?
I just told them good luck. It was their time then. It's my time now, obviously. But for them, Mike and Jake going back to back, man, I couldn't have smiled any bigger. Couldn't have had more joy in my heart than when they went. So for me, those are my brothers forever, and I'm very excited that they went when they did, and couldn't be prouder of them.
You had to be excited with all the scrutiny first and foremost, but the excitement that you generated when you walked out there, then you gave them the Johnny Manziel side.
Had to. I mean, I felt a lot of excitement in the building. I mean, that's just me, man. I'm going to bring a lot of excitement wherever I go, and I want to win. That's the main thing. And I think with the coaching staff that they brought into Cleveland, I think there's a good possibility for that. So, like for me, it's just go in and work really hard and try and establish myself and get better as a football player.
I personally can't wait to see you play.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Over to you, Kurt.
Thanks, Dion. And I tell you what, guys, I really like the fit here is that, he's going to bring a lot of excitement to Cleveland. They're going to be excited about what he brings to the table. But what I love is that the cupboard's not there. I love the defensive roster that they have in Cleveland. Offensively, you got Josh Gordon, you got Jordan Cameron, you got Ben Tate in the backfield. I think he's in a situation where he's not going to have to do everything by himself. And, Mike, I think that's the perfect fit for him right now because we know, you've shown it on tape, he's got a ways to go to become a pocket passer, that guy that can stand in the pocket and make all the throws. But his excitement was...
Hopefully it doesn't break.
Yeah. Yeah, you slammed that down pretty hard, Bruce.
Look at it already crumbling. Well, what a pick.
I will tell you this, though. I was on the phone with Gil Brandt, and
because of his style that can start day one. There are going to be a lot of cheers, both for the home team and the visiting team when he plays. But he's going to bring excitement. And what I like is if you model your team after Seattle and after San Francisco, run the football, be physical, play good defense, this kid can make plays with his arms and his legs as he learns how to become a pocket quarterback.
Hey, you guys talked about the 22nd spot the last couple of times that the Browns have selecting Reed and selecting Brady Quinn. Now, the best part about dropping in a draft like he has done, like Aaron Rodgers does, is you could possibly go to a very good football team. Now, let's be real. They got a lot of talent on the defense, but it's not a very good football team right now for winning football games, and that puts all the pressure on Johnny Manziel. They have a new system in place. It puts all the pressure on Johnny Manziel.
And I like Brian Hoyer 3-0 last year, but it was unfortunate he got hurt. This kid is going to play in a division that has good defense. I think you have to be mobile. You've got the Steelers, you've got the Ravens. Cincinnati's pretty darn good on defense. So his creativity, his ability to improvise is going to be very necessary for that offense.
And the West Coast.
And as you can see, again, it's interesting enough in the same spot, 22nd overall, and the fact that the same with Weeden, Quinn, and Manziel taken 22nd overall in the first round in 07, 2012,
3 different GMs, right?
In 2014. Oh yes, sir. and you think about it too. Also, the fact that we had on our screen as Manziel was walking through the crowd, it doesn't matter. Hoyer or Manziel ever started Week 1 in Baltimore for Cleveland. It's going to be the 12th different starting quarterback in Week 1 for a franchise since it came back into existence in 1999.
And that's what I'm talking about.
The difference in Johnny Manziel is on his college team, he made people better. That's why you saw other people get picked. Usually in college, when the quarterback's good, he has a lot of talent around him. He made people better. He's going to help make the Cleveland Browns better with the talent that they have.
Every defensive coordinator I talked to said the one quarterback they don't want to play against was Johnny Manziel.
Here's the Chiefs pick, 23rd overall.
With the 23rd pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select D. Ford, defensive end, Auburn.
Fourth edge rusher off the field. Now, D. Ford is a guy that early this year struggled a little bit. However, he got rid of his knee brace. All of a sudden, his natural edge rush ability came out. Played well towards the end of the season, and then he ripped up the Senior Bowl. He's a disruptive guy off the edge. What is his scheme fit? That's the question with this guy. In Kansas City, remember, they've got to pay two defensive ends. Tom Bali's 31. Justin Houston's going to get paid next year. Watch this kid come off the edge. Gets that inside arm on the Texas A&M tackle, jacks him back. I thought this was his best game against two really good tackles. A first-round pick this year and next year. Look at him just run by people in the Senior Bowl. So the downside is he ready to play run game day one? I think he'll get stronger And I don't think he's going to have to play the run a whole lot early on, just like Aldon Smith in San Francisco a couple years ago. So there he is,
Dee Ford's reaction.
He's explosive, he's quick, and trust me, Andy Reid, Bob Sutton, they're going to have some fun with him in Kansas City.
And he said at the Combine, one of the more explosive quotes, that he was better than Jadeveon Clowney. Now he's going to get that chance to do it in the AFC West. There is the Manziel family. They're taking their talents to Cleveland. Back with more from Radio City Music Hall in a moment.
The #1 jewelry store in America is the place to find your favorite bridal brands. The Leo Diamond, the first diamond certified to be visibly brighter. Neil Lane Bridal, from Hollywood's premier jewelry designer. Artistry diamonds, genuine diamonds in vibrant artist colors. Tolkowski, inventors and perfecters of the ideal cut diamond. These stunning bridal brands and more together in one place. K Jewelers.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
Mine was earned in Korea in 1953.
Afghanistan in 2009. Orbiting the moon in 1971.
Once it's earned, USAA Auto Insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection and because USAA's commitment to serve current and former military members and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
You are feeling satisfied without standard leather. You are feeling exhilarated with front-wheel drive. You are feeling powerful with a 4-cylinder engine.
Open your eyes to the 6-cylinder, 8-speed Lexus GS with more standard horsepower than any of its German competitors. This is a wake-up call.
Coming this summer, everything NFL is available wherever, whenever, however you want to watch it. Only with NFL Now. The best of the NFL, personalized for you, the fan. Watch on-demand highlights of your favorite teams, all your fantasy players, and never miss a big play. There he goes! NFL Now brings you all the action directly to your favorite device. Watch your non-stop customized NFL experience on whatever screen you want. Your NFL, your way, now. Sign up today at NFL.com/now to learn more.
So today's great moment presented by Pizza Hut happened just moments ago. Johnny Manziel going through the crowd, the mosh pit, as a Cleveland Brown quarterback. It's going to be him and Brian Hoyer competing this summer. Hoyer coming off of a knee injury. Mike Pettin, the head coach of the Browns, saying that Hoyer would beat out pretty much any quarterback he drafts. That's what he said earlier this week. I don't know if that's a smokescreen or not, but that's the guy who's going to be competing. The tweets have been nutty. Josh Gordon tweeted out about it. Johnny Manziel, drafted Johnny Manziel, and he hashtagged several different hashtags. Joe Hayden tweets out, "Let's get it," tweeting at Johnny Manziel. So the Browns contingent, his new teammates are already tweeting at him.
And that's the key.
And Ben Tate's in that backfield there now, too, in Cleveland. Josh Gordon.
I think that's one of the keys, Rich. When Johnny Manziel gets to Cleveland, right there, the guys are tweeting out things that basically welcome him in. And you know there's going to be a lot of notoriety, a lot of press, a lot of things, a lot of hype that comes with it. I think it's important, Mike, what we talked about, for Johnny to go and make sure he becomes real good with his teammates.
Right.
Hang around those guys that are your teammates.
And you can see that he galvanized that whole community already. The fans, the team itself, it's pretty cool.
Meanwhile, it didn't take very long for the Bengals to make their selection. About a minute after Dee Ford was selected, they made this choice that's finally getting announced.
With the 24th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Darqueze Dennard.
Good pick.
Defensive back, Michigan State.
Yeah, I don't think they expected him to be available. 5'10", 5'11", 199. He's the best pure press corner in this draft. Offman had some concerns. Paul Gunther, the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, I think is excited to get him. He fits what Coach Gunther wants to do. He tackles. He's tough. That's one of the best pure football players in this draft. Really happy for Darqueze Dennard.
A contingent of about 40 to 50 friends and family members at the courtyard in Macon. So it's a nice moment there for the Dennard family. And with Leon Hall back there in the secondary, makes that Michigan State game that much more interesting for those two guys.
State Spartan, huh, Rich?
What do you got, Mike?
Well, watch him in press coverage here. Hip to hip, he uses his hands beautifully at the line of scrimmage, then vision back on the football. Back shoulder throw, and he stays with it. Again, press, hand on the shoulder pad, hip to hip. Find the football. Now watch what happens. When the ball gets there, he'll continue to fight for it all the way down to the ground, and he rips it out. Combine drill, he's a little tight. He's not as fluid as Justin Gilbert. But let me tell you right now, he's the toughest. He and the kid from Virginia Tech, Fuller, they tackle, they cover, they play special teams. They're pure football players, and I think he fits. And remember, in Cincinnati, Terrence Newman is 36. Leon Hall is coming off an Achilles. This kid fits. Adam Jones is over 30. Kid fits.
Right. It's 11 o'clock here in New York City, and we have 24 picks in the books. You don't need to do too much math other than to say that's 3/4 of the first round. We've got 8 more picks to go, with the San Diego Chargers pick being in. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock, and the spot from which the Browns traded up to select Johnny Manziel about 15 minutes ago. What do you think the Chargers are going to do here?
I think the corner run is finally coming. San Diego at corner has got nothing right now. I mean, you're starting Steve Williams, a 5th-round pick from a year ago, Sharice Wright. They've got to bolster that. Remember, in that division, they got some people throwing the football in that division. They need to load up. I think Bradley Roby or Verrett, the corner
Verrett
from TCU. One of those two, I believe, has to be the pick.
And this draft is falling the way I think they felt that it could, because right there on their board, and it's not only maybe the best player on their board, one of these corners, but certainly an area of need for that team. And it's a team that's contending now, getting better with Mike McCoy over there. And adding a corner makes a lot of sense right here.
I want to go down to the orchestra pit. Ian Rappaport, the Browns have been all over this place, all over this draft board. Are they not done tonight? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's what I hear, Rich. You know, they got the defensive back they wanted. Jimmy Haslam got the quarterback he wanted, Johnny Manziel. And from what I understand, DJ, the Browns are now trying to get back into the first round, possibly targeting a receiver. Who are they looking at?
Well, if you're looking at a receiver, Marquise Lee from USC still on the board. That would give him another explosive weapon with Johnny Manziel and Gordon and Cameron, the tight end. I mean, you have a lot of weapons on that offense if they can get a guy like Marquise Lee.
And there's Benjamin is still out there, too, from Florida State with a first-round grade in the wide receiver class, Mike.
Yeah, but I really believe on the defensive side of the ball, they were number 29 in yards allowed in the pass game last year. They've got nobody on that edge on the backside that scares you. And in that division with Denver, they've got to play some better pass defense, and I think they need an athlete back there, and I really believe Bradley Roby's the guy.
For San Diego, you're talking about.
For San Diego, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
You're going back to Cleveland over there.
No, well, hey, but Cleveland's might be coming back to this building. I mean, think about
getting
it.
a wide receiver, you know, Marquise Lee being such a solid route runner, wide receiver, a lot like what we talked about earlier. Now, Cleveland gets back in there. This would be a wow.
It would be like the movie.
Like, I can't believe that.
It would be like draft day.
It would be.
But, I mean, you know, and I know we've been accused, at least my timeline's been accused of being so Manziel central. There's still some other quarterbacks that are out there. There's Teddy Bridgewater sitting right there, hoping he gets picked in any of the last 8 choices this evening. Derek Carr is also in the mix.
He's back home in Bakersfield.
There's the Carr Cam, if you will, back home in Bakersfield, California. When might his name get called? If tonight, not tonight, then tomorrow.
Well, he might be the most natural thrower in the draft, Derek Carr. He throws a beautiful football. He runs 4.65. I'll be really surprised if one of those teams that didn't take a quarterback in the top 8 that need one doesn't come back up before the end of the draft.
And don't forget the Cardinals are still sitting out there at 27 after they traded down. Here's the pick of the San Diego Chargers.
With the 25th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Jason Verrett, defensive back, TCU.
This kid's one of my favorite players in the entire draft. He's only 5'9 and a half, and that's the knock on him.
But he fights.
But he's competitive. He's feisty. He's tough. He had a little shoulder problem that prevented him from tackling early in the season. But I'll tell you right now, the only thing this kid lacks is height because he's so competitive. Watch him come off the edge. 5'9", 190 pounds. Eyes in, pedal, patient. Now watch him break on the route. Remember, this is Beckham he's covering, another first-round pick. Finds the football with good vision, closes the gap, breaks it up. Now, again, LSU, that's a big physical receiver pushing him off. They're the only kind of balls I saw him lose on. When it's just about footwork, quickness, and speed, he wins. But when a bigger wideout takes advantage, Michael, that's when he struggles.
And that's what you're going to get in that division with Demaryius Thomas over there and James Jones now in that division. You're going to get those big wide receivers. Now, they're not necessarily the big wide receivers that like to lean on you, but the big wide receivers that can run. But leaning on a guy like that doesn't have the size, that's why he needs to be as feisty and fight hard.
Well, everybody in that division is drafting defense. Oakland, Khalil Mack, and we've got D Ford, the Chiefs, and now here we go, Jason Verrett with the Chargers. They all have to play against Peyton Manning.
You know who he's the answer for. He has slot value to Wes Welker.
That's where
Denver.
Exactly.
We got to get to Wes Welker. That's what that is.
He's the best nickel in the draft.
Right prior to this choice, San Diego had the highest drafted TCU player in the draft. That was LT back in 2001. They just added another TCU player. Clowney, Robinson, and Bortles started off the night. Took a longer part of the night for Manziel to finally hear his name after Sammy Watkins had the Bills trade up to get him. But Manziel is going to Cleveland. We're going to break.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, as if you didn't already know, the first round's going to be in the books.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, it is. Special time, 11:30 Eastern. That's after the first round of the draft.
The time is now. The wait is over.
I think the Browns did a very good job of asking their due diligence questions and asking me and seeing what was out of the media or what was heard or what they heard was actually the truth. And there was never a time where I lied or wasn't shied away from a question. For me, it was go into the situation and be very honest and be very upfront with them and let my true character show and let them find out who I really am. And I think that alleviated some concerns with them.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny. That'll do it for this portion. Said, please stay on the line. We'll transfer you shortly to the radio interview.
Say less is more. But to us, more is more. Space, technology, design. The Lexus ES350 and EPA estimated 40 mpg ES Hybrid. See your Lexus dealer.
I'm Randy, and I quit smoking with Chantix. For 33 years, I chose to keep smoking because it was easier to smoke than it was to quit.
Along with support, Chantix Varenicline is proven to help people quit smoking. It's a non-nicotine pill.
Chantix reduced the urge for me to smoke. It actually caught me by surprise.
Some people had changes in behavior, thinking or mood, hostility, agitation, depressed mood, and suicidal thoughts or actions while taking or after stopping Chantix. If you notice any of these, stop Chantix and call your doctor right away. Tell your doctor about any history of mental health problems, which could get worse while taking Chantix. Don't take Chantix if you've had a serious allergic or skin reaction to it. If you develop these, stop Chantix and see your doctor right away, as some can be life-threatening. Tell your doctor if you have a history of heart or blood vessel problems, or if you develop new or worse symptoms. Get medical help right away if you have symptoms of a heart attack or stroke. Use caution when driving or operating machinery. Common side effects include nausea, trouble sleeping, and unusual dreams.
I did not know what it was like to be a non-smoker, but I do now.
Ask your doctor if Chantix is right for you.
A
appears Buster's been busy.
Yeah, Scott. I was just about to use
That's a bunch of ground-up paper, lad. Scott's Easy Seed uses the finest seed, fertilizer and natural mulch that holds water so you can grow grass anywhere. Seed your lawn. Seed it.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, why aren't you holding the phone? You're a Verizon spokesman. There you go. Hold it in there. That's the hand of Marshall Falk at a phone to let you know. Don't miss a single selection of the NFL Draft. Call Star NFL to download NFL Mobile exclusively from Verizon and get 24/7 coverage of the 2014 NFL Draft on NFL Mobile. Plus, I know you have an impeccable manicure.
Yeah, and
you know I don't. I don't want to hear it from Suze at home. What are you holding up the phone for? You're not a manicure. At any rate, there we go. The Eagles fans are excited because they're about to hear who they're drafting. They came into tonight 22nd overall. The Browns struck a deal with them to trade up to get Manziel, and the Eagles moved into this position at 26. Michael Mayock, your thoughts?
You know, at this point, again, let's keep in mind they let that wide receiver go, Deshaun Jackson, to a division rival in Washington. I think they would love to get a defensive player, but they like their corners. The safeties are gone. There's probably not an edge guy appropriate at this point, although Marcus Smith from Louisville is a second-round guy. Trent Murphy from Stanford is a second- or third-round guy. So I think it's got to be one of the two wideouts with first-round value. Either Marquise Lee, the smaller wideout that brings return value, or Kelvin Benjamin, who's 6'5", 240. Now, I know both you guys have some thoughts about those two wide receivers.
Yeah, we had Kelvin Benjamin in Game Changers. Great kid, big target, and here's the commish.
With the 26th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Marcus Smith, linebacker, Louisville.
That was the guy I just mentioned as the second-round outside linebacker. Remember, on their defense, now that Eagle fan's not too happy. He never even heard of him. Marcus Smith is 6'3.5", 251. Pretty exciting edge guy. I love the 3-4 outside linebacker with upside. I question his core strength a little bit on tape. I don't think he's quite ready. Look at the party. The obligatory thing, they're not as excited as maybe Johnny Manziel a few picks ago.
The pom-pom's barely moving.
But here's the important thing.
The mascot laughing.
It's late.
The important thing ultimately is, can this kid play? And right now, what do they have coming off the edge? Well, they got Connor Barwin on one side, and they've got 32-year-old Trent Cole on the other side. So in that 3-4 scheme, he's a perfect fit. You may argue that it was a little early, but they already traded down from 22. They picked up some extra picks. I applaud the pick because it attacks an area of need for them.
And they needed to address the defense. They have a very good offense in winning that division. They were second in offense, 29th in defense. So Marcus Smith, probably the highest rated player on their board. Let's bolster that defense so we can win this division again.
Well, it's the first time that Louisville's ever had two first-round picks in the same draft. None of them named Bridgewater, though, tonight. And the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock right now. Perhaps they might make it a trio of Redbirds. Who knows what might happen when the Cardinals selection is announced here in New York? It certainly will resonate all the way across the country. The hosts of this year's Super Bowl are on the clock. Back with their choice in a moment.
Time is now! Now, let's go! Cowboys win! Don't wait. It's over. You kidding me? Touchdown! Let's go!
To truck guys, the truck is everything. And when you put them in charge of making an unbeatable truck, good things happen. This is the Ram 1500, the 2014 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, and first ever back-to-back champion. Guts, glory, Ram.
I know that it is mine, but it sure feels fine when I can share with you. Everybody, because sharing means caring, and caring means sharing, and sharing.
Share your greatest Watch Dogs moments on PlayStation 4.
That's how sharing works.
Rated M for mature.
PlayStation.
I'm the protector of my patio. Killing weeds where they grow. A barrier forms so weeds can't appear. Serious weed prevention up to a year. New Roundup Max Control 365. So I'm fighting weeds on opening day and preventing weeds while I get away. Weeds stay dead as we carve this beast, and they still aren't back when I cook this feast. New Roundup Max Control 365. One more time, let me make it clear. With no more weeds, it's your year.
NFL.com fantasy football is back and better than ever. Sign up now at NFL.com/fantasy. As we are, I guess we're following Johnny through. He just gave Brandon Cooks a hug as he's going the Goodfellas route out the door, it looks like. NFL.com fantasy football. Browns football having Johnny Manziel in the mix. Meanwhile, we got Teddy Bridgewater still back there. We have Derek Carr still on his own couch waiting for his phone to ring. The Arizona Cardinals pick is in. Bruce Arians, would he go quarterback right here, Mike?
I think they feel like they're pretty close. They were 10-6 a year ago and didn't make the playoffs in the toughest division in football. Derek Carr has to be a consideration. Your quarterback's about to turn 35. If it's not Derek Carr, I think it's got to be an offensive lineman, and Cyrus Kwanjo or Xavier Su'a-Filo would be the two most obvious ones there.
Another thing we also have to keep an eye on right now, again, this is pick number 27, and that means there's 5 more after tonight, and the Texans are sitting first on the clock tomorrow. If you want Bridgewater or Carr, now's the time. Now's the time to strike yourself to get back in to the mix. Now, I know you're saying Carr to Houston, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but if you like the guy, it doesn't matter what his lineage is or what his name means in town.
Oh, yes, it does.
All right, you're saying that. Let's hear the Marshall. Let's hear the Cardinals pick.
With the 27th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Dayon Buchanan,
safety,
defensive back, Washington State.
I'll tell you right now, I really enjoyed watching this kid's tape. 6'1", 211. If Calvin Pryor is a bullet, I'll tell you what, impact safety with size. I thought he was best in the box, but he's bigger and faster than Clinton Dix or Calvin Pryor. I really like the kid. He fits a need. You pair him with Tyrann Mathieu on the back end. They signed Cromartie. This kid's got a chance to make a difference quickly in Arizona.
And that's a very physical division, the NFC West now. You need thumpers back there. And boy,
I don't know if the word's filtered back there yet, but there's the Arizona crowd. You're looking at there. And
you'll get to know this kid.
Tyrann Mathieu coming back from his knee injury. Antonio Cromartie and Patrick Peterson. That's essentially that's most of your secondary.
That's
right
a really good secondary. Size, length, and toughness.
So take us through who this young man is a little bit more, Mike.
Dayon Buchanan, look at the size here. Are you kidding me? He ran sub 4.5. Very fluid for a safety that size. The knock on him was, could he play on the back end? The more tape I watched, the more I felt like he could. His movement skills for a tall guy are excellent. Marshall, you see that?
That's
stuck his
for a
foot.
big guy.
Did he stick his foot in the ground and change there, guys?
And they're talking about winning your division. I mean, if it's not a page out of Seattle's playbook, those big corners, those big DBs they have in Seattle.
Good point.
This Arizona team went to Seattle. That Carson Plumlee threw 4 interceptions, but that defense held up. They still won that game. You know how big that is.
And Mike, you know what's the must at safety in today's game? The kid looked like a natural catcher of the football.
Exactly.
He's not fighting that.
No, not only does he hit you, you're right, he's got 15 career interceptions, so he's got some nice ball skills and nice range, too, back there. And that's a good choice.
And I'm imagining, since it took about 90 seconds for Carolina to make the pick, it's either Lee or Benjamin, whichever wide receiver is the apple of their eye, because, Lord, is that part of the depth chart absolutely barren right now. I know they signed Jason Avant, but with Ginn, LaFell, and Smith all gone, and McNutt is pretty much on that team.
They signed 3 guys, but they got to get a tackle or a wide receiver, and I'd bang the table for one of those 2 wideouts.
Let's hear it.
With the 28th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Kelvin Benjamin.
That's what I thought.
Wide receiver, Florida State.
Listen, and we can talk all we want. We've talked about what we need to give Cam Newton. Cam Newton has had the smaller receiver in Steve Smith, and he's done some wonderful things with Steve Smith. But now you give him a guy where the area code is the where you can throw the football. Anywhere in the area code, this kid can make a play, just like that other guy, Brandon Marshall, does for the Chicago Bears. Love this kid, man. Watched him while we had him at the Combine, Coach, and I said, man, I need to work on his hips. By the time he got 2 game changers, he had been working on his hips. He's a big kid, but knows how to get down low. Reminds me a lot of Brandon Marshall, who's a big kid, got in this league, learning how to get down low and run routes. I love this, man. This could be one of the biggest steals in this draft, because this kid is still raw. He's still raw, and if he can play towards his upside, work hard, he can be a beast in this league.
That's awesome. We're happy for that kid. For a big guy, 240 pounds. Not many receivers play at 240 pounds in this league, but this guy showed us quickness in and out of breaks. Better than we thought for a guy this size. And you saw the national championship game where he made the big play at the end to win the thing for Florida State. Kelvin Benjamin, welcome to Carolina.
And he loves the game.
He's 6'5", 240. We talk about catching radius. We're going to take a peek now at this kid in the red zone against Duke. Watch the double move here. There's the break, the separation, and now let's look closely. Look at the height advantage. He's 6'5". He's got 35-inch arms. I like the fact, Michael, they move him inside. A lot of the big guys don't play inside. Against Florida, he had 9 catches.
And he could be that tweener guy. You can line him up out wide. You can line him up inside. He's bigger enough. And if he does get big, put him at the tight end.
Look him in the slot, in the red zone. Throw him to the corner. Watch this catch here. It's thrown over the other shoulder. He just naturally changes, catches it. He ran 4.61, but I don't care. Now, there's one thing I want you to see here. We've got a graphic that I call one-year wonders. And one of the things that scouts and coaches worry about are wide receivers with only 1 year of college production. Because the question is always why? Why, if a guy was so special, didn't he have that production? And it's a little bit sobering when you take a look at the names on that list. Stephen Hill's the first guy.
Okay. Right.
We've got Greg Little, Devin Thomas, and then finally Anthony Gonzalez. All first and second round picks. 1 year of production, but I think this Benjamin kid's different. I think he's special because of his size.
And speaking of size, is Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin the biggest quarterback wide receiver combination maybe ever?
Mike, the difference in that list is Gonzalez was the only one who had a real quarterback.
Right.
And he got hurt.
Right. Stephen Hill.
I believe, because when you watch Cam at times, he's not as accurate as you want, but he's throwing the smaller receivers where you need to be accurate.
Right.
I saw Carson Palmer get more accurate throwing to bigger receivers, and that's what I see for Cam now. You don't have to make the perfect throw. and you still get the completion.
And Stephen
That's
Hill,
what Benjamin.
Stephen Hill comes from Georgia Tech, all that run. Georgia Tech with the running game. This kid had 84 receptions, 1,500 yards last year. He's been catching some passes. I think he'll be great.
Kudos to those folks. It's late at night in New England. The rest of the teams on the clock are West Coast teams, but they've been waiting a long time at the Patriots draft party. They're about to hear their pick when we come back.
The 2014 NFL Draft is presented by Verizon. This Mother's Day, get mom the best devices on the best network.
Stand back, Suburbia. Behold, the Craftsman tractor. With an industry-leading 6-inch turning radius that's 66% tighter than a John Deere tractor. And with a top speed of 7.5 miles per hour, it's 26% faster. It's the antidote to other tractors. That's the quality and innovative performance you can expect from Craftsman, exclusively at Sears.
Your NFL, your way, across all your devices. Sign up now at NFL.com/now.
Every Sunday is an opportunity for breakthroughs and comebacks, upsets and miracles, and for new stars to become legends. NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV is your opportunity to become the most powerful fan and choose the matchups you want to watch. That's every game, every Sunday, no matter where you live. For the most football on television, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS to order NFL Sunday Ticket only from DirecTV.
So you've heard of Vigil, right? The free app that rewards you for watching TV? Get this. DirecTV viewers get more points than anyone. Here's all you got to do. Download the app. Play along with your favorite shows. Rack up huge points. Cash in said points for free stuff. Music, tickets, electronics, and much more. Plus, you'll qualify for DirecTV movie money. Oh, and here's a tip. Enter promo code DirecTV to earn 5,000 bonus points. Thank me later when you're rocking out front row to your favorite band. Vigil and DirecTV. You're already watching. Now get rewarded.
4 more picks and we move on to Friday night, where the second and third rounds will go down here. Live at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night on NFL Network, rounds 2 and 3. Yep. But we've got 4 more picks to get to tonight. It is New England, San Francisco, Denver, and Seattle. And earlier tonight, John Schneider of Seattle said it was fairly possible that Seattle could trade out of the final pick tonight, just in case maybe somebody wants to beat the Texans to a quarterback punch potentially at the top of tomorrow night's round. Lexus Draft Tracker is the way that you can follow the rest of the first round and obviously everything else. I'm standing, it's been a long night, you know, just sitting down, just trying to get the circulation going. I'm being very honest. That's ergonomically correct too sometimes. Here comes the commissioner of the National Football League with the pick of the New England Patriots, 29th overall. The Jet fans having their say right now.
With the 29th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Dominic Easley, defensive end, Florida.
Dominique Easley is one of the best value picks in this draft. He was a top 30 pick until he tore his ACL this September. He's the prototype 3 technique. That means the defensive tackle in a 4-man front. He's quick. He's explosive. A lot of people felt like he was going to end up dropping because of the ACL. But look at him beat the double team, get into the backfield, and make a play. This is a typical Bill Belichick pick. He's got talent. The rest of the league discounted the talent because of the injury. He'll be in training camp. And remember, Tommy Kelly, 33 years old, coming off an ACL. Vince Wilfork, 33, off an Achilles. They just signed Will Smith off an ACL. They needed defensive linemen. This kid is gifted.
So the Patriot party that has been the longest running party in the East Coast all night.
Wow.
That is the 49ers draft party. Look at that. They are jamming right there. Excited about their 49ers team that is competing in the toughest division in football, as we all know. The defending champions sit atop that division. We always look forward when San Francisco plays Seattle. It's going to be on Thanksgiving night. They've got a new stadium that's opening up and hosting next year's Super Bowl. Butch, did you have a draft party that large when you were coaching the 49ers?
Well, they already. I'm trying to figure out where that is. Is that in the new stadium, did you say?
No, that
we used to have draft party, of course. Of course.
I got a few tweets tonight with people
you know?
wondering how they got the names on the jerseys back so quickly. It's they have a hot press behind the stage right here
Nike's
on
doing
Radio
a great
City
job.
Music Hall. So at any rate, the question is who gets hot pressed into the next jersey here for San Francisco?
They can go a couple different ways here. There's still a wide receiver on the board, correct? Marquise Lee. There's still a corner on the board. Bradley Roby. They could use a 5 technique, which is a defensive end and a 3-4. Remember, Justin Smith is 35, and Stephon Tuitt from Notre Dame is a real logical guy there also. So I think the board is more open, Mooch, than I thought it would be. We both thought they'd trade up.
Well, I really thought they'd trade up. They have 6 picks in the top 100, and they sat pat at number 30. I thought they'd go up and get a wide receiver, but they lost 3 defensive backs this offseason. Carlos Rogers, Terrell Brown, and Dante Whitner are all gone. So is Bradley Roby a guy that can come in there and help them, or Marquise Lee, who played in the Pac-12 there for several years? Stephon Tuitt makes sense too. I think they're having a decision to make because they are in desperate need of filling up that secondary again.
Well, from a receiver standpoint, that team belongs to, right now, Michael Crabtree. Michael Crabtree came back. When he came back, he did make a difference. And you got Anquan Bolt. Marquise Lee, a couple of years ago, what a beautiful year he had. And I mean, he has an ability to run routes. Now, Anquan Bolt will be the big guy.
Guys, the trend in the NFC West is defense.
Yes.
look at the picks. And I think the other 2 teams that's in the NFC West, they're going to continue that. I believe the 49ers, you have to go defense here when you lose secondary. I mean, they lost both safeties in 2 years.
Right.
I mean, that's fabulous.
These are the Pepsi tweets that you see on the screen right there, including Johnny LOL show the cash. Cut on dime 25 is LaShawn McCoy, by the way, who's tweeting out there.
Cut on dime.
And as you mentioned, the other teams that already went, the Rams with their 2 picks, they did go offensive line to start, but then when Aaron Donald in their second choice defense, and then Arizona trading down moments ago, went ahead and got Dayon Buchanan in Washington State, the safety. And the 49ers fans are just going nuts. This is May 8th.
They want the West back.
It's in San Jose, California, by the way, which is where the new stadium's down the road, right, Steve?
New stadiums in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium. What a beautiful place attached to their facility in Santa Clara. And believe me, they are fired up because they're so close to winning a Super Bowl. The last 3 years, they are arguably one of the 2 best teams over the last 3 years, and they think they're that close. Make a play, and all of a sudden they got a chance to win it.
They want the NFC West back. They want it back. Well, what happened in Seattle? That was a hard-hitting game. And Seattle came out on top.
And the first time those teams are going to play next year on Thanksgiving in Levi Stadium, and then 2 weeks later they're going up to the 12th man. That's quite a rival right now.
Mooch, you mentioned the corner situation there. Bradley Roby sitting there. He's probably a top 15 talent. He's had some issues off the field. I think he's sliding a little bit because of that, but nothing that would preclude him being drafted. So I think there's some concerns, but he's a top 15 type talent.
And Mike, it's a veteran team too. You know, veteran teams tend to take care of the guys that have had an issue, and they fall in line. And I think Bradley Roby might be a smart choice right there. From the Ohio State, Rich.
Well, here's the commissioner.
With the 30th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jimmy Ward, defensive back, Northern Illinois.
Wow. Jimmy Ward is one of my favorite players, but I didn't see him go into the second or perhaps the third round. Now this guy, he's only 5'10 and a half, 193. He's got the skill set to play free safety, drop down on a slot, and play man coverage. So he's a true free safety. The concern is his frame. He's got a slight frame. Durability's an issue, but he has answered the bell, man, every game in college.
Well, you remember last year, you know, they picked a safety, Eric Reed, and that one really worked out. He, out of 11 picks last year, Eric Reed, the safety from LSU, was the only guy that started. And so here they go. They're going to add to that secondary because they've been thinned out a little bit.
Yeah, and they signed Antoine Buffet. So, you know, this is a kid that, look at the hit. And again, he's only 190 pounds. He flies around. He fills. He can play strong safety, but I worry about his frame. I worry about him holding up over 16 games. But I love the skill set. I love the ball skills. I love the toughness. And this is a kid that's a natural center fielder, but not afraid to drop down in the box and make a play.
Yeah, they'll toughen him up in San Francisco, though. They'll put some weight on him.
Look at this play right here. Look at that play.
You playing in San Francisco, you only play one style of football in San Francisco. They teach you that. It is a rite of passage, and that's why this is a good spot for a young man that loves to play the game.
We're going to take a break. The Super Bowl participants who took part in the game across the Hudson River from this beautiful Art Deco facility in the middle of Midtown Manhattan are left. The Denver Broncos and then the Seattle Seahawks to wrap up night number 1 of the 3-day draft.
At GMC, incredible thinking always comes first. Like the GMC Sierra, the first pickup to offer a V8 engine that gets an EPA estimated 23 highway miles per gallon. The first to offer an innovative cargo bed with LED lighting. And now during the GMC Spring Sales event, most 2014 GMC Sierras are specially priced, so you get thousands off MSRP. This month, use your special value pricing to get over $8,300 total value on this specially equipped GMC Sierra SLE.
So you can get cash back on all your purchases. So you can use your cash back to follow your dream. So you can save the day. Chase freedom. So you can.
Hello. Let me tell you something you should already know. Baseball is better. Better than football, basketball, and ping pong. Dude, that was mine. A game so fine, it's played on diamonds. No whistle blowing, flag throwing. Baseball's better than babies. There's no crying in baseball. It's a step up to the plate for the greatest game ever played, which just got better. Welcome to the show.
Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation.
Who are the top 100 players in the game today? The best of the best.
He was a big difference in going from a good defense to a great defense.
Voted on by the players themselves.
He's one of the best.
He definitely makes my life hell. Find out which first-timers make their debut on the list.
Jaw-dropping. He just wreaked havoc. Now you see me? Not gonna beat him to the edge. No, you don't.
The top 100 players of 2014 premieres Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern only on NFL Network.
This season's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be best friends with that guy and that guy. We're gonna work so hard, our moves will have moves. I'm gonna make my mom proud. Good game, good game, good game. We'll be doing this a lot. We're going all the way. But I only get to play if my coaches are Heads Up Football certified.
NFL Total Access comes your way after the last two choices. The Broncos fans are excited to hear who is going to be added to the Denver mix in a matter of moments, and then the Seattle pick. Seattle's on the clock right now. Perhaps there could be a trade in the works. Who knows? Seattle said it was open for business at this position because, as you know, a lot of teams don't want to just sit on something all night if they can pull the trigger on this. The Golden Corral best value player, Mike, would be?
I just really enjoy what Cleveland did tonight with all the disruption in the offseason in the front office. Ray Farmer, Mike Pettin come in. They start out at 4. They move down to 9, back up to 8, and they get Justin Gilbert. And then they move from 26 to 22, and they get Johnny Manziel. I give them credit for moving up and down the board, ultimately coming away with great value. Up next is Roger Goodell, our commissioner.
That's right, with the penultimate pick of the first night. Here it is, the Denver Broncos choice.
With the 31st pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Bradley Roby, defensive back, Ohio State.
And that's a good pick. Remember, Chris Harris, their nickel, tore his ACL in January.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie's over here now.
Yeah, they signed Aqib Talib. They signed T.J. Ward, but they really need some help at the other corner and at the nickel until Chris Harris gets back. There's a similar look. Who had that look earlier, Marshall?
Clinton Dix, everybody.
Right?
He flipped it.
It was
yeah, that's right.
He took the jacket.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. You know what, though? When you talk about Talib, you're talking about Ward. One thing I see with the Denver Broncos, what they signed an attitude guy. Those are attitude guys. Yeah. They needed attitude. This guy can add to that talented guy that comes in and give attitude. And I think that's the residual of that Super Bowl against Seattle.
He's a gifted kid, and he's going to have to step in day one and play at a high level. He's got to be more consistent. He lacks what I call good eye discipline for a defensive back. Jared Abbrederis, a really good wideout from Wisconsin, torched him for 10 catches, over 200 yards. Here's the game right here. He's got good coverage, but he's holding. But now, can he find the football? This is what concerns me. No, he can't find the football. Abbrederis ate him alive. However, the kid's got wonderful skills. He can run. He can jump. He's a tough kid. Double move, eye discipline. Where's the football? Can't find it. Abbrederis gets it again. So the negative side on this is just, can he find the football? The positive side, he's so gifted. He's so quick. He ran sub 4.4. He's long. He's got loose hips. I felt like he and Justin Gilbert had the best talent of any of the corners in this draft.
That guy Talib right there, that guy's going to take out the main guy. That guy Ward right there, he's going to help that young guy while he learns. And you do not want to beat the young guy to get hit by Ward. That's a dangerous thing. So he'll have time to develop.
They have the best offense ever in the history of the league. And what they learned in that Super Bowl is we got to get better on defense.
Yes.
So they've been doing that this offseason.
Yep. That's 9 defensive backs taken in the first 31 picks of this draft. Prior to that, the 8 DBs taken in the top 30 picks matched the 1992 draft for the most in the first 30 picks of a draft. And not to be outdone with what we saw in San Pedro Square in San Jose, that is the Seattle draft party in Seattle, Washington. It's really just a battle between those two teams, right? Up and down the Northern California and Pacific Northwest coasts. Marshall, the defending world champs, what would you think they need based on what you see, what's left on the draft board after 31 picks?
This is always that, we call it a need-based pick. What do you need? You can go either way. I mean, they can address defense. They can address offense. I believe you get your quarterback a weapon. I think you get your quarterback a weapon. You get him somebody. You lost a guy who attacks the football better than anybody.
Minnesota's on the clock.
Well, I'll tell you what they did.
Or better yet, you trade the pick. You heard me say that, didn't you? I told you.
They attacked the phones is what they did. Ian?
I told you that's what you do.
Daniel Jeremiah. Is this for a quarterback?
Well, Rich, it certainly does seem like they're looking for a quarterback here. And, DJ, one thing we know from what I was told from Vikings coaches, Teddy Bridgewater has the best film they feel of all the coaches. Would not be surprised if they go Bridgewater here, even with Derek Carr still on the board.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is a name you hear with Minnesota. A great fit in Norv Turner's offense, as Michael knows right there on the set.
Thank you, Daniel. I think there are two quarterbacks here, Bridgewater and Derek Carr. Bridgewater be an interesting guy. I had a long conversation with Rick Spielman about the quarterbacks a couple of weeks ago, and I think he respected the fact that the kid went through what he did, came back, threw well in some private workouts. Be interesting to see what they came up for. It almost feels like it has to be a quarterback, though.
Well, certainly since the Texans are picking first tomorrow night, and you'd have to assume they're going to go and get one of the two remaining quarterbacks at that spot.
Keep in mind, Norv Turner,
one of the best,
is the coordinator. If Rick Spielman takes a quarterback at the end of the first round, he's effectively admitting that they made a mistake 2 years ago with Ponder. They've got Matt Castle, who they signed. That would be the third quarterback. That's a lot of investment here. I'm trying to look at my board and see if there's somebody else outside of quarterback.
If Rick don't want to admit that Ponder may have been a mistake, I could do it right now.
Let's say this. If it's Teddy Bridgewater, and I go back to the game 2 years ago against Florida. I mean, he carved Florida up. That was an amazing game. And you come back and you have an okay year this year. And then at a workout, you don't show out. Now, at that very same workout, Johnny Manziel did everything perfect to put him in maybe the top 5. And he ended up going at 22. I'm just trying to figure it out with how much do you put on the workout in shorts compared to
the film.
Seattle got a 40th overall selection, so they'll be picking much earlier than they would have tomorrow night, and a 4th-round choice. And that's Mr. Wolf at the bottom of the screen, and the mustache is son to his left, and Mike Zimmer on the left side of the screen checking out some email of some sort on his phone, and that's Rick Spielman top left. Very Scott Hansen-looking figure. They traded up to 29 last year. If you remember, took Cordero Patterson late in the first round last year. So this is the second straight year they've traded back into the first round late.
They got three first-round picks a year ago. Interestingly enough, for Seattle, in the 4 years that John Schneider and Pete Carroll have been together, they have moved out of their picks 16 out of 28 times, which now means 17 out of 29. And the more I look at this thing, the more I do believe it's a quarterback, and it's a great situation. If it's Bridgewater, he doesn't have to play day one. He can get bigger and stronger. It's a great situation for the kid.
And Norv's going to throw that ball up the field.
Well, let's find out for sure. It's the final pick of the first round of the 2014 draft, and it's a Minnesota Vikings pick.
The Seattle Seahawks have traded the 32nd pick to the Minnesota Vikings. With the 32nd pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback, Louisville.
I am so happy for that kid, and he's one of the nicest kids I've met in this draft process in the last 10 years. And Marshall, you brought up a great point about the workout, and it's something I've been fighting for a couple of months now, because I like this tape. I still felt like he had to get bigger and stronger, but he's the only quarterback in 10 years at his pro day that didn't confirm what I saw on tape. However, I went back and watched a bunch more, and guys, he needs to get stronger. I think he can push the ball down the field more effectively, but he's smart, he's tough. He's everything you want as far as the innate stuff, the intangibles. He loves the game of football, and I'm excited for him.
And he's excited, too. There he is in his Minnesota Vikings purple hat. And Irv, what will Norv Turner do with him?
And we talk about when you are in those situations where you drop and you're not happy. But this is a perfect situation for these young kids to land in. With his style of play, with what Norv Turner loves to do. And I guarantee you, Noah would turn Cordell Patterson, and those guys will turn their game up, and he'll use this guy. He will get that ball up the field.
You know, and he didn't have the great pro day like you mentioned, but we had him in game changers on the field throwing the routes.
Great kid.
And you know what? He was pretty darn good. And in talking to him about how he ran his offense at U of L, at Louisville, you know, he was calling protections. He was running the show. He was under the center. He did a lot that we need for him to have. Good for him. Teddy Bridgewater, congratulations. You know, good spot.
Adrian Peterson back there. You got some blessings when you got Adrian Peterson to throw. To hand that ball off to. They're going to back up. You're going to have some room to throw deep because they got to stack that line of scrimmage.
Thank you for making tonight special. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time for rounds 2 and 3. Good night, everybody.
But before everybody walks out of here, we got Dion with Teddy Bridgewater. A long night for him, Prime, but his night ends with a nice, happy ending.
Love that kid.
Wow, take me through the emotions of tonight.
You know, from the moment we arrived here tonight, we had our mind made up that we were just going to enjoy this moment. You know, we're going to live in the moment. You know, it was a long night, but my mom always tells me, be anxious for nothing. And, you know, this is all God's timing. Everything happens for a reason. God has a plan for myself, for this Vikings organization, so we're just blessed to be here.
Did it ever look dim to you? With all the naysaying, then you one of the few guys left in the draft room, in the green room, but now you made it?
I can now say that I made it, like you're saying. You know, it was a long night, but, you know, it happened, and it happened for a reason, so I can look back now and say I made it. Today is in the past. Now my focus is on getting started with my career with the Vikings.
My mom was happy. She got her early Mother's Day present, a pink Cadillac.
Oh yeah, she was able to get that pink Cadillac, and she had no idea that we were going to surprise her with that car, but she was overjoyed when she did see it.
You said this yesterday, that you thought it was going to be Minnesota.
Oh yeah. And basically, I felt that I had a great workout with those guys. I met with them about 5 or 6 times prior to the draft, and I just was able to establish a relationship with Rick Spellman, the GM, Coach Turner, offensive coordinator, and his son Scott, quarterbacks coach. So I felt very comfortable tonight that I was going to end up in Minnesota some way, somehow.
Back to you, Rich.
All right, thanks very much. They go Barr and Bridgewater in Minnesota. And that wraps up night number 1 of the NFL Draft from Radio City Music Hall. NFL Total Access starts right now.
To NFL Total Access presented by Bridgestone. This is the post-first round of the draft edition. Dan Hellie here with Amber Theo Harris, Kurt Warner, Heath Evans, and Warren Sapp. And guys, it ends on a high note with Teddy Bridgewater being the final pick of the first round. One thought, one takeaway, Kurt.
Yeah, I thought the biggest takeaway was I thought the teams that traded in the first round did a great job. Sammy Watkins by Buffalo, Brandon Cooks by New Orleans, and then, like you said, Minnesota coming in to get Teddy Bridgewater right before maybe Houston would have taken him number 1 in the second round.
The quarterback nailed them all. I'm happy for Teddy Bridgewater. Good for him. It's been a long couple months. Good for Teddy.
Browns finally, Mike got it right.
All right, below the action, let's go out to Rich and the guys in New York City.
Thanks very much. We are here in Radio City Music Hall after night number 1 of the 2014 NFL Draft is in the books. We've got 2 Michaels, Mayock and Irvin on one end of the set, Marshall and Mooch directly to my left. Michael, I give you the first word on the first night.
Yeah, I'm looking through my board here, and obviously the highlight of the night's got to be Cleveland and what they did moving up to get the corner, then Johnny Manziel. Secondly, St. Louis had 2 picks. They got Greg Robinson and Aaron Donald, NFC West. They're concentrating on the front on both sides. And then how about 4 safeties going? The last 2, Deon Buchanan and Jimmy Ward, to NFC West teams, Arizona and 49ers. Pretty interesting the way this draft went tonight.
Yeah, and guys, when I say, well, who did I look in here and say, boy, this could be the steal of the draft? For me, Carolina getting Kevin Benjamin giving Cam Newton that big receiver that he can use inside and out that he hasn't had since he's really been in the league. Didn't really work out with the LaFell situation. I really do love Kelvin Benjamin and possibilities of what he can get at Carolina.
For 2 months, we've been trying to talk about and predict where the quarterbacks would go in this draft. And in that top 8, Mike, you mentioned it many times, 5 of them needed a quarterback. Well, only Blake Bortles goes to Jacksonville on schedule, the 3rd pick in the draft. The other teams had to maneuver a little bit, move up, move back, do some things. And, of course, Johnny Manziel goes to Cleveland with this 22nd pick. That makes sense because they got a starter, a great player in Justin Gilbert earlier, and then Rick Spielman moving around and getting Teddy Bridgewater. Now, one more quarterback tomorrow will be Derek Carr from Fresno, and I got a feeling people are going to try to maneuver up in that early in that 2nd round, maybe to Houston's pick, to see if they can grab that kid.
2-13, the Rams helped themselves. But I believe what Minnesota did by hopping back, because they hopping back into the 1st round and getting Bridgewater at 32, the fact that they moved down, acquired another pick, and you got a guy that's going to help you, because what do they need to do? They need to sack the quarterback, because Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, Cutler, that's who you're chasing. So you sack the quarterback, and now you get a quarterback similar to what's in your division. I like what the Minnesota Vikings did. I believe those 2 players are going to be impactful early. Norv's going to turn Teddy's life around.
Boy, I tell you, I surely believe that too.
And the latest example that this is a quarterback-driven league, 3 quarterbacks, 5 wide receivers, 9 defensive backs taken in the 1st round. That's more than half of the draft, essentially dealing with just the passing game. And Marshall, for the 2nd straight year, no running backs taken in the 1st round.
The rules dictate the draft. It determines how you draft. It's a passing league.
Marshall, I respectfully
disagree.
You know why?
Back in the day when you can really sack the quarterback, he wasn't going to throw it 40, 50 times a game.
Adrian Peterson or a Marshall Faulk in this draft, somebody would grab him right now.
No, listen, I don't care who it is. Back in the day when you could sack the quarterback, he wasn't throwing it 40, 50 times.
What a great day this has been for a lot of these young guys out here today. Let's say congratulations to those guys.
And throw it back to the
Yes.
Total Access studio.
Yeah, on our way out, though. Say it again.
All right, thanks, Rich. Thanks, guys. Johnny Football waited maybe a little longer than he had hoped, but he goes to a team where many thought he would end up. We're talking Johnny Manziel and the Cleveland Browns coming up.
NFL Total Access Post-Draft is presented by Bridgestone. Engineering tires that perform when you need them most. Bridgestone. Your journey, our passion.
So now you're bringing Bridgestone's tire technology to the sports world in the form of this performance soccer ball?
That's right. The same extreme grip and performance technology we engineer into our Potenza tires is being tested here with the help of U.S. soccer star Alex Morgan.
Seriously? Little too much grip.
Yeah, well, it does make for a great tire.
At Bridgestone, our passion for performance knows no bounds.
Supermarkets, a shopper's paradise. But this is Guys Grocery Games, where chefs have to think, shop, and cook fast. This game show, finding ingredients won't be easy. Out of stock. Budgets can make or break them. And if they don't cook up a killer meal, they're gonna have to check out.
Guys Grocery Games, all new season, all new games. Premieres Sunday night at 8 on Food Network.
Clean up, aisle 2.
Stand back, Suburbia. Behold, the Craftsman Tractor. With an industry-leading 6-inch turning radius that's 66% tighter than a John Deere tractor. And with a top speed of 7.5 miles per hour, it's 26% faster. It's the antidote to other tractors. That's the quality and innovative performance you can expect from Craftsman. Exclusive.